Number 10, too thin. Lately over social media, primarily TikTok, fans have been expressing their concerns for Ariana's health, pointing out her very skinny frame as well as suggesting she doesn't even look like herself. In a recent TikTok video, many viewers commented saying, "You look a lot like Ariana Grande," with many not even realizing that it is her. But others have come at the videos with a little bit more worry, fearing she's losing way too much weight. One fan commented, "Ariana, are you okay?" And another added, "Look how weird our Ari looks now, oh my god." But after noticing all these comments, Ariana addressed the accusations that she isn't healthy in a recently uploaded video. She starts off the video by saying that she doesn't do this often and doesn't like doing it at all, but going on to tell her audience, "I just want to address your concerns about my body." She goes on to say, "I want to talk a little bit about what it means to be a person with a body and to be seen and to pay such close attention to." Ariana explains that we should all be a little bit more gentler and avoid commenting on others' bodies, as well as working towards being safer, as well as telling her fans that there is many different kinds of beauty. Her viewers loved this graceful response to the comments and responded to her video by saying, "You don't owe anyone this, but thank you for everything you said." Another fan added, "We need more people to approach the world like Ariana. Thank you for this." Number 9, Asian fishing. 2 years ago, Ariana found herself in some hot water after being accused of Asian fishing. After photos of the star were posted by the photographer Katya Temkin on Instagram, they began circulating on Twitter, sparking some very mixed reviews. In the photo, Ariana poses in a green oversized blazer with white bows tied on her neck, which is an outfit she has worn on The Voice. Viewers pointed out that her eyes seemed to have a completely different shape than in previous photos, leading people to believe that she was Asian fishing, which is when a non-Asian person starts to attempt to look Asian with their features, makeup, and clothing. One fan wrote, "Ariana Grande really said, 'Okay, fine, I'm done pretending to be Hispanic, I'll pretend to be Asian this time.'" One Reddit user commented, Every celeb has had plastic surgery, but there's something about Ari's that doesn't sit right with me lately." They continued on by saying, "The overzealous eyebrow lift, in which she's actually changed the shape of her eyebrows from arched to straight, as is popular in East Asia." Someone that did come to her support was the influencer Ollie London, who is someone who identifies as a transracial Korean person after undergoing surgery to look like a K-pop star. They ended up praising Ariana's look, saying, "So cute, welcome to the transracial club. Can we become the king and queen of Korea?" Another Twitter user saw this as confirmation that Ariana was doing this on purpose and trying to become a different race. Number 8, blackfishing. Ariana is no stranger to controversy, especially when it comes to her appearing to change races. But she really seemed to spark outrage after being accused of blackfishing after the release of her 7 Rings music video. Critics began coming for Ariana for her extremely dark spray tan, which many believe is a classic case of cultural appropriation. She has taken it so far to the point that some even began believing she was biracial. She has revealed in the past that her background is Italian, and if you see photos of her from before, many agree that she really does look like another race. After all the backlash she was receiving over her changing looks, it wasn't much of a surprise that she deactivated her account almost immediately after. It got even worse though during an MTV Awards in 2016 when Ariana and Nicki Minaj sang side to side, and viewers began to notice that Ariana was actually darker than Nicki. Definitely not going to help her case with that one. Number 7, bolding. Ariana has admitted that after years of acting and playing the character Cat Valentine, her hair was completely destroyed. She told the press at the time, "I had to bleach my hair and dye it red every other week for the first 4 years of playing Cat." Continuing on, she says, "I wear extensions, but I wear it in a ponytail because my actual hair is so broken that it looks absolutely ratchet and absurd when I let it down." When talking about other alternatives, she revealed, "I tried wigs, but they looked ridiculous. I tried a weave and I literally wanted to rip my scalp off." One of Ariana's stylists even claims that she is losing so much hair that her iconic ponytail is the only thing she can pull off now. An insider shared, "Her hair's a mess. What's left of it anyway. It's destroyed at the ends, and the reason she scrapes it back into a high ponytail all the time is because it's kind of patchy on the top." Of course, as people began really talking about her hair and how it's held up over years of damaging it, she tweeted about it saying, "It's difficult. I have to wear more fake hair than every drag queen on earth combined." Number 6, the filler. During some promotional photos for The Voice, fans began believing maybe Ariana's going overboard with fillers. Instagram users started noticing that the star was beginning to look much more puffy, especially on her cheeks and her lips. Though she has never admitted to getting any fillers in the past, fans are finding the star nearly unrecognizable lately and believe fillers are partly something to do with it. A Botox expert has come forward on TikTok to share where they believe Ariana's fillers are located, if she does have any, explaining how it's clear the star has a little bit of filler in her lips and Botox in her forehead in order to keep up with her flawless skin. After looking at photos, what do you guys think? Number 5. Hispanic fishing. Ariana Grande found herself under fire after a comment she made in an award show when she said, "Thank you so much for coming to my quinceañera." After this comment went viral, one Twitter user wrote, "Ariana Grande joking about her quinceañera and people are loving it because she's darkened her skin so much that they actually think she is Latina, and it's disturbing." She continued by saying, "She's a white woman in brown face holding an award she got over actual Latina women, joking about quinceañeras." Another Twitter user wrote, "I can't stand her and I can't wait until she stops being everywhere. She walks around every day with blatant brown face and she just gets away with it. It's the most bizarre thing." Number 4. Too young. Ariana has received backlash in the past for appearing to dress a little bit younger than she actually is, while also aiming to look sexy, which many fans don't love. On top of getting some hate for her outfit, she has also been receiving quite a bit of negativity for her body shape in general. The star has a slimmer build, which has been subject of body shaming for years. She posted a series of photos on her Instagram showing off a dress, and the comments came in hot. One user claimed that she was built like a 12-year-old, where others believed she was taking this look too far, with another user writing, "Why did you post this?" More recently, she has been forced to limit comments on her Instagram due to the amount of negativity she has been receiving. Some fans have been coming to her defense, especially after noticing her limited comments. One fan wrote, "Ariana limited her Instagram because a lot of people were body shaming. I hate you all so much." Another fan wrote, "Ariana has never been more confident in her body than she is now. It's so sad to see that a lot of people are still body shaming her because she just has a natural petite body." Among this, there also came some speculation that the criticism of her body doesn't just affect her, but others who look similar. One Twitter user wrote, "At the end of the day, Ariana probably isn't paying much attention to all the body shaming she's been getting. A lot of people paying attention are those who already suffer with their own body image." Other fans shared their belief that the drastic change in her look over the years could be partially due to her continuing to grieve the passing of Mac Miller. But regardless of the reason, she has confirmed to fans that she really is all good, but maybe turning off the comments for now is a good idea. Number 3. Plastic surgery. Many fans who have been watching Ariana through the years believe that her appearance really changed in front of their eyes. She has been faced with plastic surgery rumors since she first rose to fame, and fans continue to ask which procedures she's had done. The speculation really began when she started to look much different from her days on Nickelodeon. Fans questioned why her eyes were looking less rounded and expressive than ever before, believing that this type of change doesn't just come from aging alone. Not only the change with her eyes, but others claimed that her nose was a result of a nose job that she got back in December 2019. In a since deleted tweet, the star clapped back at the fan and wrote, "This is my birth nose. What the F did I log into today? Let me have a cute nose." Fans got especially upset after seeing the star on the August 2019 Vogue cover, claiming that she looked nothing like her old self. One Twitter user wrote, "No, sorry, this is not okay. Ari does not look like this at all. All I see is plastic surgery, and I don't even recognize her." Though she didn't address this specifically head on, she did say in an interview, "I like having my funny character that I play, and it feels like an exaggerated version of myself. It protects me." She continued on by saying, "But I also love disrupting it for the sake of my fans and making it clear that I am a person, because that's something I enjoy fighting for." Though she has continued to deny these speculations, according to an Instagram page, My Beauty Consultant, it is believed that she has had a surgical brow lift, lip filler, cheek filler, chin filler, among other procedures. When looking at photos though, what do you guys think? Has she just grown up into her looks, or are these changes something only an operation could do? Number 2. Left side only. There have been stories that have been circulating about Ariana's diva demands, but have you heard about non-negotiable left side only for photos? The star reportedly will walk out of a photo shoot after refusing to be photographed in natural light, stressing that she will only be photographed from her left side only. An insider shared to the media, "It's like the president is in town. Everyone is kinda stressed, and at the same time they're making fun of her because there's not much ado about nothing." Another source went on to claim, "It was like you either get on the other side or we can't do the interview." Of course, having a good side is nothing new, but from the sounds of it, she may just be a little bit too intense over this. And at number 1, we have bleached brows. Another time Ariana left fans confused was when she bleached her eyebrows, leaving her unrecognizable to many. Ariana showed up for the Oscars event and ended up shocking some other attendees with her newly bleached eyebrows and her blonde hair. Though it appears she bleached them for her role in Wicked, some fans aren't loving it either way. One Twitter user wrote, "Don't get me wrong, wrong, I love Ariana with blonde hair and I get her bleaching her eyebrows for Wicked, but bleached brows aren't for everyone. Another user wrote, bleached eyebrows on Ariana look so bad, ew. One fan even suggested that this change could be a result of her looking so sickly. They wrote, the current look of bleached eyebrows and blonde hair make her look washed out and unwell. Take her back to her dark brows and hair and she will already look a lot better.
At number 10, we have no wedding ring. Fans were shocked when it was reported that Ariana and Dalton were divorcing, though some people did claim that they knew it was coming, given the fact that Ariana was seen at a recent tennis match without her diamond wedding ring. She was photographed in the crowd at the Wimbledon men's singles final on Sunday, sitting between Andrew Garfield and Jonathan Bailey. While she was reacting to moments from the match, she would often cover her mouth with her hand, and in that way it was pretty obvious that she wasn't wearing her ring. It's possible that she had taken it off to get cleaned, but for such a high-profile event like this, that was less likely. So even though it was only rumors at that point, in this case, the absence of the wedding ring was really significant. Ariana and Dalton got engaged back in December of 2020, and she announced the happy news with an Instagram post showcasing her new rock with a super unique design. It was made up of a large oval diamond with a delicate pearl, and it looked very similar to another pearl ring that she was gifted by her grandma. So there might have been an added sentimental value there. As for the price, well, it was estimated to be worth a whopping $350,000. Number 9, living separate lives. Sources close to Ariana who know about the breakup said that the two of them have been separate since January. They began living separate lives until about May, when they decided to take a shot at their relationship again. But sadly, that only lasted 2 weeks before they both threw in the towel. Apparently, Dalton visited Ariana on the set of the movie Wicked in London, which was a part of a last-ditch attempt to save their marriage, but sadly that didn't work out. It's also been reported that he has moved on from their marriage relatively quickly and has been dating over the past few months, which Ariana is completely fine with. In fact, they've been separated for so long that both of them were apparently shocked that no one picked up on it till today. Then TMZ broke the story that they had gone their separate ways and were headed for divorce. Thankfully, they've been able to stay friends, so there's no bad blood between them. Quote, they came to this decision together. They were having problems before January, but they wanted to remain best friends. It's been said that they've been really good friends throughout the entire process, and their friends and families have been trying to protect them, most likely from going through all the messy divorce drama. Number 8, long distance. After news came out about their separation, a source spoke to People magazine about the contributing factors behind their split, and one of the biggest ones seems to be long distance. As for now, Ariana has been away from home filming the Wicked adaptation in the UK, which means that she's been away for most of the year. And in this specific situation, it's been said that absence did not make the heart grow fonder. The source claimed that she was happy in LA for a couple of years, and she really wanted to make a life there with Dalton. This worked out well for a while, considering that he was super focused on his career as a luxury real estate agent, and for that he needed to live in LA. But the demands of his career eventually became an issue for them because he was practically stuck in the city, while Ariana's work took her all over the world, and for months at a time. Apparently, when she started filming Wicked in England, they were in for a long-distance marriage, though it eventually got too hard and the relationship broke down. With all things considered, this is completely understandable, because it can be difficult to maintain a connection with someone that you can't be physically present with. Number 7, can't handle the fame. It's been said that another contributing factor in their separation was the differences between them. According to reports, Ariana and Dalton couldn't make their marriage work after the pandemic because their lives were vastly different, and that only became more obvious over time. Sources said that when they first hooked up in 2020, they were everything to each other: company, romance, and support. But when the lockdown restrictions were lifted, their differences became alarmingly apparent. Dalton was taken aback by Ariana's celebrity status. He could not comprehend her busy schedule, the intrusive paparazzi, and the various opportunities that took her out of LA. It's been said that he would sometimes question why they needed to go around town with security, which was clearly the only option for someone as famous as Ariana. In the end, it was their differences in lifestyle that started to make the marriage unravel, and it was greatly exacerbated when she went to England last December to start filming Wicked. Unfortunately, this is a story that's all too familiar. Another high-profile relationship recently ended for a similar reason. This one was between Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn. It was said that he didn't like the limelight and that he struggled with her level of fame and the attention that she got from the public. So sometimes it can be too overwhelming for the partner that is not used to that kind of stardom. Number 6. Dalton deactivating Instagram. Back in March, rumors started swirling about the status of their marriage when Dalton deactivated his Instagram account. This happened after he received a flood of hate comments questioning his sexuality. For whatever reason, some fans decided to target him and claim that he was in fact gay. We don't know what these comments look like, but obviously they weren't made in a nice way. Most likely it was both homophobic and intended to bully him. So it's possible that he was just sick of getting those comments and wanted to get off of social media for a while. This was all pretty upsetting given the fact that the couple have really tried to keep a low profile since they got married. Dalton does have his own Instagram account, but he set it to private shortly after news of their relationship became public. These comments might have been the reason he deactivated his account, but apparently he didn't use Instagram regularly, so it could also mean that he just wanted to delete it for good. Unfortunately, we all know that social media is a cruel place, and in that way it couldn't have been easy for him to deal with negative attention online. When you are a public figure, you obviously get a lot more than a regular person, but someone who isn't used to that might have had their mental health impacted a bit more. Number 5. Breakup rumors. Over a year ago, Ariana posted a video doing her makeup while promoting her brand REM Beauty, but it wasn't the makeup that caught everyone's attention, it was the fact that she wasn't wearing her wedding ring. If she didn't address it, fans would most likely jump to conclusions and assume that something was going on. Thankfully she did, because she already knew what the internet would say when they didn't spot her ring. She said, "I'm just not wearing my ring, it's getting cleaned. I'm not getting a divorce, so before you start, don't." So she pretty much made it very clear that she was shutting that idea down. Obviously, she has been in the spotlight long enough to know that even the smallest thing can cause a panic online, though it is telling that she felt the need to even address the speculation, because there is always a lot of misogyny going around at times like this, where people are quick to blame women anytime a relationship ends. In response to the divorce news, someone tweeted, "Ariana Grande lost 100k followers on IG following yesterday's rumors. Once again, we have proof that our world is misogynistic and that we always blame women," which is a very sad reflection of where we are as a society. At number 4, not a good fit. For the stability of a long-term relationship, it's been said that you need two things: chemistry and compatibility, and the latter is always more important in long term. Sadly, it seems like that just wasn't the case for Ariana and Dalton, which is not necessarily anyone's fault. An inside source spoke to Entertainment Tonight and explained that they just weren't a good fit from the start. Quote, "Ariana and Dalton tried to make things work, but ultimately they just weren't a good fit. Dalton has been very private and low-key about their relationship with his work colleagues and hasn't been talking a lot about their split." Another insider said, "Ariana and Dalton's friends have always been concerned by their whirlwind romance and felt their relationship would ultimately be short-lived. Their relationship has been rocky at different points and they've had trouble making time for each other with scheduling issues." Before Dalton, Ariana also famously dated and got engaged to SNL's Pete Davidson, which lasted just a few months. But in many ways, they suited each other very well because they were both so used to the limelight. Their relationship was very public and it was one of the most talked about of the year. Of course, that doesn't make it any better than a private one, but it goes to show you that they were very comfortable being seen out together. Number 3, controversies. Though they've managed to keep a relatively low profile since they got together, there was a moment in 2021 which earned Ariana and Dalton a ton of backlash. In June that year, a video of them resurfaced online, which was then shared by various Twitter accounts. A black and white clip showed the two of them with a few of their friends, and they appeared to be participating in a mockery of Native American dance. While sitting at the center of a circle, Ariana was seen to be singing, laughing, and spinning a big piece of cloth around in the air. Other people in the video were said to be making drumming sounds. They also appeared to be attempting to summon a spirit. So it's no surprise that this was deemed offensive, because it seems as though they were making fun of the culture. Soon after it was posted, Ariana deleted the video because she started receiving many negative comments about it. It's possible that fans interpreted this to be something different than what it actually was, but it's also easy to see why it was so upsetting. This incident was part of the reason why some people started to turn against them, which is why Dalton was not particularly popular with fans. Number 2, Pete Davidson's comments. Ariana's ex seemingly put her on blast months after their relationship ended, which some fans took as an outright personal attack. The two of them publicly revealed that they were in a relationship at the end of May of 2018. Things then moved very quickly, and they ended up getting engaged just a few weeks after their relationship started. The whole thing became something of an internet meme, and it really cemented Pete's image as a ladies' man. Several tweets that Ariana made about him created the infamous phrase "Big D energy," which Pete quickly became the face of. But just as swiftly as things started, they rapidly came to an end. Shockingly, the pop star went on to describe their romance as an amazing distraction when speaking to Vogue magazine. In response, Pete slammed her on stage during a stand-up performance when he said, "Can you imagine if I did that? My career would be over tomorrow if I spray painted myself brown and hopped on the cover of Vogue magazine and just started hating on my ex. Can you imagine?" So obviously he took those comments somewhat to heart. And coming in at number 1 at the fan reaction, news of Ariana's divorce has been getting quite a lot of attention recently, which is pretty much as expected. But what's really interesting is how people feel about Dalton now, because he's the one that seems to be getting most of the criticism. One person tweeted, "The Dalton boy dated, proposed, and married Ariana Grande, knowing very well she's Ariana Grande, then gets shocked when she's followed by security everywhere. Has he seen how her fans behave? Boy, you should have dated Normani if you wanted a normal private life." In response, another person wrote, "The same problem was at first with Miley and Liam. Girls are just too big to date someone that basic." Another fan tweeted, "What is it with these Z-listers getting into relationships with A-listers and then hating on how famous they are? Like, did you not know how famous she was before?" There were even people that blamed Dalton for stealing Ariana Grande away from her fans. They also said that these differences in their lifestyles were bound to come out when someone famous marries someone who isn't, while others expressed how pathetic it is that there are insecure, unsupportive men getting into relationships with incredible women just to bring them down. How's it going, IO? In this video, we're going to get into the Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez divorce rumors, Kylie Jenner forgiving Jordyn Woods, and Bebe Rexha getting body shamed by her own boyfriend. So it looks like this is really it for Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez. Page 6 has reported that the two of them are going to be divorcing. Sources close to the star said that they have been separated since January, but they've been able to stay friends so there's no bad blood between them. Quote, "They came to the decision together. They were having problems before January, but they wanted to remain best friends." Apparently, Dalton visited Ariana on the set of the movie Wicked in London, which was part of a last-ditch attempt to save their marriage, but sadly that didn't work out. It's been said that they've been really good friends throughout the entire process and that their friends and families have been trying to protect them, most likely from going through all the messy divorce drama. The speculation started over the weekend when Ariana was spotted at a tennis match without her diamond ring. She was photographed in the crowd at the Wimbledon men's singles final on Sunday, sitting between Andrew Garfield and Jonathan Bailey. She looked great with her honey blonde hair from the upcoming movie Wicked, and she was seen getting really into the match, reacting to moments by covering her mouth with her right hand. But of course, most people were focused on her left hand at the absence of her wedding ring. Some people speculated that there could have been a simple explanation. Maybe it was getting serviced or cleaned, or maybe even upgraded. Either way, it seems like everyone was wondering what was really going on and whether or not that was a sign of some kind of trouble in their relationship. On Twitter, someone wrote, "I'm sorry, I'm not really trying to start anything. I just want to know, anyone else noticed the ring finger has no ring?" Another person wrote, "Anyone else noticed Ariana Grande hasn't been wearing her wedding ring?" This latest speculation comes several months after there were rumors going around that the two of them were nearing a breakup. What happened was Dalton deactivated his Instagram account after comments were made questioning his sexuality. For whatever reason, some fans decided to target him and claim that he was in fact gay. We don't know what these comments look like, but obviously they weren't made in a nice way. Most likely it was both homophobic and intended to bully him. So it's possible that he was just sick and tired of getting these kind of comments and wanted to get off social media for a while. This is all pretty upsetting though, given the fact that the couple have really tried to keep a low profile since they got married. Dalton does have his own Instagram account, but he set it to private shortly after news of their relationship became public. But what's really interesting is that this wasn't even the first round of divorce rumors. 1 year prior, Ariana posted a video doing her makeup while promoting her brand REM Beauty, but it wasn't the makeup that caught everyone's attention, it was the fact that she wasn't wearing her wedding ring. If she didn't address it, fans would most likely jump to all kinds of conclusions and assume that something was going on. Thankfully she did, because she already knew exactly what the internet would say when they didn't spot her wedding ring. She said, "I'm just not wearing my ring. It's getting cleaned. I'm not getting a divorce, so before you start, don't." Basically, she shut that idea down completely. Obviously, she's been in the spotlight long enough to know that even the smallest thing can cause a panic online, so it makes sense that the two of them are very adamant about privacy and keeping their life off of social media. Nearly 2 years after breaking off her engagement with Pete Davidson, Ariana was spotted kissing a mystery man out in LA, who was later confirmed to be Dalton. The couple began dating in January of 2020 and spent a lot of time together at Ariana's home in New York City. In December, after almost a year of dating, Ariana announced their engagement on Instagram. She posted photos of them along with shots of her engagement ring, and in the caption she wrote, "Forever and then some." Several months later, in May of 2021, the couple tied the knot in a small ceremony at their home. Apparently there were less than 20 guests and the nuptials were informal. They There was no real ceremony, it was just a casual exchange of vows. Ariana later shared photos from their wedding on Instagram. At the time, an inside source spoke to People magazine and said they're a great fit together. Dalton's entirely unfazed by the scope of her celebrity, and it's very grounding for her. He's young but mature and knows what he wants out of life. So they really seem to be great together, which makes it all the more upsetting that they're now separating. Alright, so we are well and truly in the era of people being exposed online. Bebe Rexha just leaked text messages of her boyfriend body shaming her. She posted a screenshot of a message that was sent to her by her partner Kanye Safari, where he basically calls her out for gaining weight. He wrote, "Hey, I never said you weren't beautiful. I never said I didn't love you. The fact that I said how beautiful you are and how much I love you. But I always said I would be honest with you and your face was changing, so I told you it was. That was the conversation we were having, and you asked, because I care, would you rather that I lied to you? You gained 35 pounds. Obviously you gained weight and your face changes. Should I just pretend that it didn't happen and that it's okay?" He goes on to say that she has joked about him gaining 3 pounds before and that it doesn't mean that she doesn't love him. He said, "If you're trying to find reasons to break up, this makes sense, but it's not the real reason. If you're unhappy with me / yourself / with life and don't see a future with us, then that's okay, and that's the reason. Don't use something like that to weaponize your anger or anxiety or any insecurity that you may have." At the end of the message, Kian insists that he always found her to be beautiful and loved her no matter what. He also suggests that she have a deeper think about their relationship and maybe even speak to a couples therapist. Not everyone is happy about the fact that Bebe chose to post these messages online, but it's pretty clear just from that decision that she has well and truly broken up with him. If anything, she might be trying to draw attention to the issue of body shaming and how women especially tend to get it from every facet of society because they're just held to a different standard. In this case, she's getting it from her own partner, likely disguised as some kind of health concern. You could argue that he went about it in the right way and said that she was still beautiful, though it is uncalled for because, as we have seen before, Bebe is well aware of her own weight. This isn't even the first time she's dealt with body shaming. She's been facing a whiplash of unwarranted online hate recently. In response to growing criticism about her weight, she took to Twitter and wrote, "I know I got fat. I'm just so sick of people talking about it. Next." She addressed the rude discourse and lack of privacy around her appearance, saying, "Human beings go through weight fluctuations in life and you don't know what people are going through. Meds, disease, etc." She ended her statements positively and gave a shout out to all the people who have been supporting her and showing her love. So hopefully that puts a stop to all this endless chatter about her body, because it's really no one's business in the first place. And now it looks like Kylie Jenner has finally forgiven Jordyn Woods. The two of them were spotted out to dinner with friends in an LA sushi restaurant over the weekend. It marked the first time in more than 4 years that Kylie was seen in public with her former best friend, since Jordyn was effectively banished from the Kardashian family after everything that went down with Tristan Thompson. Photos of Kylie and Jordyn on their dinner outing were posted online, and a few hours earlier, Jordyn posted a mirror selfie on Instagram wearing the exact same outfit that she wore while she was out with Kylie, so a red, orange, and purple dress from her own clothing line along with a gold choker. The reason this is such a big deal is because their friendship was torn apart by one of the biggest scandals to rock the Kardashian family. In February of 2019, it was reported that Tristan Thompson had cheated on Khloe with Jordyn at a house party. Khloe then broke up with him when the allegations came out, which he heavily denied was the truth. The following March, Jordyn told her side of the story on Jada Pinkett Smith's talk show Red Table Talk. She said that she didn't sleep with Tristan, but admitted that he did kiss her on the lips. She said that she was drunk the entire time and later apologized to Khloe about the encounter, but she also didn't take any responsibility for their breakup. Jordyn said, "I know I'm not the reason that Tristan and Khloe are not together. Now this situation may have made it harder for her to want to be with him, and I understand that, but I know I'm not the reason." In response, Khloe then took to Twitter to express her outrage at the interview. She tagged Jordyn and wrote, "Why are you lying? If you're going to try and save yourself by going public, instead of calling me privately to apologize first, at least be honest about your story. By the way, you are the reason my family broke up." So you can pretty much imagine how that tweet escalated the already existing drama. For months on end, people were picking sides between the two women. Some accused Jordyn of being a homewrecker and said that she was clearly in the wrong, especially because she had been such a close friend of the family for all these years. On the other hand, Khloe was getting a fair amount of backlash too, considering that when she started dating Tristan, he had already gotten his ex-girlfriend pregnant, and that was a whole situation that made Khloe look like the other woman. Later in 2019, Kylie unfollowed Jordyn on Instagram, and the cheating scandal was depicted on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. On the show, Khloe opened up about his cheating tendencies and said, "Tristan, we've all known what he's capable of. Look what he did when I was 9 months pregnant, but I knew who he was. I never in a million years thought that's who she was." Kylie said on the show that when she called Jordyn to ask about the incident, her friend didn't really say anything. She was just crying the whole time. time. In response, Kylie said, "You could do whatever, but when it affects my family, me, then that's when it's a problem." Fast forward to June of 2021 when Khloe spoke to Andy Cohen about the whole situation. She insisted that she doesn't have any grudges against Jordyn and that people make mistakes, basically forgiving her for what happened. Around the same time Khloe and Tristan got back together, they hired a surrogate to carry and give birth to their son. There was a few months of peace until December when his ex Marley Nichols filed a paternity suit against him, which revealed that he had cheated on Khloe with her earlier that year. That month she gave birth to their son Theo. Weeks later, after a DNA test confirmed that he is the child's father, Tristan apologized to Khloe on Instagram. He issued a lengthy public statement saying, "Khloe, you don't deserve this. You don't deserve the heartache and humiliation I have caused you. You don't deserve the way I have treated you over the years. I'm so incredibly sorry." This surrogate gave birth to a baby boy on August the 5th, and an insider told Hollywood Live that she would have full custody over their son. Quote, "Khloe and Tristan have agreed that Khloe will have sole legal and physical custody of their baby full time, and for the first time ever she opened up about all the trauma that she's gone through as a result of Tristan's infidelity and deceit. She said, "I was definitely very angry and I think I was feeling bamboozled. All I know is I was being encouraged to implant the embryo by a certain date. In hindsight, he always knew when the other baby was being born." Sources close to the star insisted that there is no place in her mind that wants to take Tristan back, and she is really done with him romantically. Which makes perfect sense. Khloe is clearly opting to focus on her young family instead of worrying about what her ex is up to. Ariana Grande has had to address a wave of body shaming on TikTok. Nick Cannon came under fire for his creepy comments about Taylor Swift, and fans are hating on Millie Bobby Brown's engagement. First up, Ariana Grande has hit back at people who've been body shaming her for her most recent appearance. We know that she's been working on the upcoming film adaptation of Wicked the Musical, where she will be playing Glinda the Good Witch, so that's why she's mostly stayed out of the spotlight in the last couple of months. But when new photos of her surfaced online, people couldn't help but comment on how different she looks. For her role as Glinda, she's dyed her trademark brown hair a honey blonde, along with her eyebrows. But that wasn't the only difference. In these new photos, Ariana also looks noticeably thinner, and that sparked a wave of health concerns across social media. Of course, this was just another way for people to criticize her under the guise of being worried about her weight. Under her recent posts, they wrote things like, "Get well soon," and "Why does she look sick?" Some even speculated that she's had some kind of cosmetic procedure done like buccal fat removal, or she's been taking medications like Ozempic, which we all know is really popular with celebrities right now. But the fact is that Ariana has been noticing all of these unsolicited comments about her body. She's actually read a lot of them, and it's really affected her mental health. That's why she chose to come on TikTok and address the ridiculous criticism that she's been getting about her body. She explained that there are many different ways to look healthy and beautiful, and the body that people are comparing her current body to was the unhealthiest version of her. Quote, "I was on antidepressants and drinking on them and eating poorly, and at the lowest point in my life when I looked the way that you consider my healthiest. But that in fact wasn't my health." While Ariana acknowledges that she shouldn't have to even address her health issues, she thinks that something good might come from being open and vulnerable about it. She said, "The second thing is you never know what someone is going through, so even if you're coming from a loving place or a caring place, that person probably is working on it or has a support system that they're working on it with. You never know, so be gentle with each other and yourselves." She asserts that everyone should be gentler and less comfortable commenting on people's bodies, no matter what. Because even if you think you're saying something good or well-intentioned, it's just not a good idea. And we should all be working towards not doing that as much. Also, if you're going to do it, there are some ways to compliment someone or ignore something if you don't like it. So you should really be thinking about the person you're criticizing before you say the first thing that pops into your head. At the end of the video, Ariana had some kind words for her fans. She said, "Sending you guys a lot of love, and I think you're beautiful no matter what you're going through, no matter what we weigh, no matter what you like to do with your makeup these days, no matter what cosmetic procedures you've had. And I think you're beautiful, and I just wanted to share some feelings." The response to her video has been overwhelmingly positive, and fans flooded the comment section with messages of support and praise for speaking up. Many of them pointed out that this would have never happened if Ariana was a guy, because so much of this body shaming is tied to sexism and double standards for women in the industry. There were also comparisons of what's been happening to Selena Gomez recently. One person on Twitter posted their videos side by side and wrote, "Selena Gomez and Ariana Grande shouldn't have to go on a public platform to explain their weight gain / weight loss because of abhorrent criticism. It's nasty, cruel, and unfair, especially today. weight. Unfortunately, Selena has been receiving a lot of criticism for her weight recently, and it got so bad that she had to go on TikTok live to address it. She explained that when she's on her lupus medication, she tends to hold in a lot of water weight. At one point she had to pause during the video and she started crying, saying that she's not a model and she never will be. That entire clip was extremely heartbreaking, and it's just so frustrating that she even felt like she had to defend her appearance in the first place. This just goes to show you that even the most famous celebrities actually read the things that are written about them. Some people try to use their status against them and say that they should get used to it because they're public figures, because it's just a part of the lifestyle they signed up for. But that's just such a messed up way to look at it. Not to mention that this kind of stuff has been following female celebrities for years. It doesn't matter how old they are, as soon as they're in the spotlight, everyone thinks it's fair game to scrutinize their appearance. Back in 2015, there was an infamous viral tweet comparing Ariel Winter's body to Ariana Grande's. They were only 17 and 22 at the time, but they were already being labeled with words like curves and sticks. People in the comment section were pitting them against each other and arguing about which body type they preferred. Ariana actually responded to the post and called out the misogyny behind it. She explained that we need to stop talking about people's bodies as if they're on display and needing your approval. So she's always been saying the same thing, and it's just time that people actually start to listen.
Couldn't we have just stayed at home for a few more weeks like all the other countries that were fine and are better than we are?
Ariana Grande just released her album Positions, and while she was on the Zach Sang show talking about the new album, she made a point to call out the TikTokers who have been partying during the pandemic, making it clear that she is not here for it. Hey, what's up everyone, it's Mackenzie here, and today we are going to be talking about Ariana Grande being shady. Before we do that, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here and want to see more. So Ariana was just on the Zach Sang show, and right off the bat, Zach asked her if Ariana is going to be celebrating Halloween this year, because he knows that it's one of her favorite holidays. After this, Ariana goes on a long rant, talking about how Halloween is her favorite time, and she usually goes to the haunted houses so much the actors start to expect her. Then she gets into the shade, asking why this had to hit again now, saying, quote, "Of all the things that we could have done, couldn't we have just stayed home for a few more weeks like all the other countries that were fine and are better than we are? Did we really all need to go to Saddle Ranch that badly that we couldn't have waited for the deathly pandemic to pass?" Then going in on Saddle Ranch further, adding, quote, "We all really needed to put on our cowgirl boots and ride a mechanical bull that bad?" She added, "We all needed that Instagram post that badly." And before we get any further, give this video a like if you're liking it so far. And if you didn't already know, Saddle Ranch has become the new LA hotspot during the pandemic. And since there's so much outdoor seating, tons of people are able to be there at the same time. So this has caused influencers to go in droves, bringing their friends along too. And since paparazzi noticed that that's where they're all going, paparazzi have now started to wait at Saddle Ranch for people to interview. And it's become such a phenomenon, Emma Chamberlain even made a whole podcast episode talking about the new hotspot. Some regulars at Saddle Ranch are the D'Amelio sisters, Addison Rae, Bryce Hall and the other Sway House members, and even Jake Paul, Tana Mojo, and Nikita Dragon. So clearly Ariana is calling out some of these names in particular. And after these comments went viral, LA paparazzi started asking TikTokers to react to Ariana's comments. When one paparazzi asked Dixie D'Amelio, she said, quote, "I don't really know what to think." But then she quickly changed her tune, saying, "I mean, she's right. She's right, yeah, she's a queen, I love her." Then Addison Rae said that Ariana's comments were fair, adding, quote, "I think it's understandable. I definitely have not been going. I just have been trying to stay in and work out. I've been working out a lot and also preparing for my movie." But her boyfriend Bryce Hall was with her, who we know has been throwing and attending parties, so the answer was like a little hypocritical, especially since she has been seen out at Saddle Ranch multiple times. So really that's all for the story today, and really the only note I think we can leave this on is that Ariana is queen, and we didn't really need another reason to love her, but you know, she gave us one anyway. Let me know your thoughts on this below. Do you think celebrities calling them out is going to be like changing much? Or since they aren't actually breaking the law by going to Saddle Ranch, is this really even not that big of a deal? Let me know. But before I head out, I'm going to shout out some comments for my video on Justin Bieber's past. So Teddy said, "I really hope Justin's future doesn't end up like Britney's current situation. He's one of the most recent pop stars that blew up in a media frenzy. I gotta pray for the kid. He says he's over his dark past, but you never know." Yeah, I'm hoping that, I feel like he hit his low a lot sooner than Britney did, so hopefully that means he'll be okay kind of for the rest of his life, whereas Britney had such a big career for so long and was involved in a lot of crap before she kind of had to come down and had her breakdown. So yeah, I'm hoping he has better people around him. It already kind of seems like he does have better people around him than Britney, so yeah, I'm hoping he'll be better off. Then Eleanor said, "This makes sense because when you look at how protective he is on Billie, you can see it comes from personal experiences." Yeah, he's been really vocal about Billie wanting to protect her. I remember I saw this clip going viral that like he was literally tearing up talking about her and how he hopes that her talent and all that won't go away with the fame and how she'll stay true to herself hopefully. So yeah, he really is trying to help the younger generation. He even said that in his documentary actually. Then Entitled Potato said, "This honestly makes me see him differently. At first I thought he was just rude, but now I understand how fame affected him. That's heartbreaking. I'm glad he's in a better place." Yeah, me too. It's really good to see he's in a better place, and agreed, when he was first starting out I was like, why is this kid squandering this amazing blessing he's been giving? Why can't he just calm down and like be normal, just focus on the music, whatever? But when you've never had a childhood and you've never had like the ability to make mistakes and just like, you know, have fun, then that really affects you later on.
Ariana Grande sparked some backlash online after posting and then deleting some photos that many are calling Asian fishing. Although the Ariana Grande fans are out in force to fight this controversy off. The singer posted some photos of herself wearing an oversized jacket, but some angry people on the internet called her out for doing her makeup to appear more Asian. One person writes, "Okay, but Ariana Grande gave up black fishing and now she's trying out Asian fishing. We not about lie and say she's not, love her music, but girly going straight to hell." With another adding, "Stop saying Ariana trying to be Asian or she's Asian fishing. Even if you mean to respect Asian culture, what you're doing is clearly based on a bias that Asian people have those eyes. Have you ever seen a single Asian person in real life? Please." According to the people that had an issue with this photo, Ariana had an overzealous eyebrow lift in which she's actually changed the shape of her eyebrows from arched to straight, which is popular in East Asia. The user also accused Ariana Grande of attempting to showcase a monolid look, adding, "We know Ari studies Japanese and has an interest in Japanese culture based on her Spirited Away tattoo, her incorrect Japanese tattoo, and her defense of the tattoo that follows shortly after, explaining how much she loves Japanese culture." They also went on to bring up her past of being accused of blackfishing. This happened when she was called out for using certain words, an accent, using rap and hip hop in her music, and overzealous tanning, of course. It's definitely easy to cherry pick these certain images and call her out for this, but do you genuinely think that she would want to do something like that? To me, it seems more like hypersensitive people on the internet reacting to a massive celebrity any way that they can. One user posted a bunch of side-by-side images of Ariana's eyes to prove their point, and all this really shows me is that the internet has far too much time on their hands. In response, another user wrote, "I'm Asian and I can point out Asian fishing when I see one. Ariana isn't Asian fishing because clearly y'all never heard of the flash from the camera and that skin can go pale in the winter." And upon looking into this alleged outrage that was being reported by a bunch of different media outlets, the supporters were much louder than her critics. Usually when people are calling someone out on the internet, they want something to be done about it. They want something taken away. They want a cancellation to happen. However, this time there were just a few accounts that were getting sassy about a photo, and then it was the Ariana Grande fan base that turned up the heat. I really don't think that it would have been this widely covered if her fans didn't react this much to their favorite singer being accused of Asian fishing.
Are Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez going to break up? Why was Britney Spears seen without her ring? And what has Travis Scott done in Japan to humiliate himself? I'm gonna answer all these questions in this video, so stick with me. First up, why are there breakup rumors going around about Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez? Let's get into it. Over the weekend, Dalton reportedly deactivated his Instagram account after comments were made questioning his sexuality. For whatever reason, some fans decided to target him and accuse him of being gay. We don't know what these comments looked like exactly, but obviously they weren't made in a nice way. It was most likely intended to bully him. So it's possible that he was sick of getting these kind of remarks and just wanted to get off of social media. As for his possible breakup with Ariana, so far that's still just speculation. This is all pretty upsetting given the fact that the couple have really tried to keep a low profile ever since they got married. Dalton does have his own Instagram account, but he set it to private shortly after news of their relationship became public. Now, these comments might not be the reason he deactivated his account, but apparently he did not use Instagram on the regular, so it could also mean that he just wanted to delete it for good. But what's really interesting is that this is not even the first time there's been divorce rumors. Last August, Ariana posted a video doing her makeup while she was promoting her brand REM Beauty, but it wasn't the makeup that caught everyone's attention. It was the fact that she wasn't wearing her wedding ring. If she didn't address it, fans would most likely jump to conclusions and assume that something was going on behind the scenes. Thankfully she did, because she already knew exactly what everyone would say when they didn't spot her ring. She said, "I'm just not wearing my ring. It's getting clean. I'm not getting a divorce, so before you start, don't. So she made it very clear that she was shutting that idea down. Obviously, she's been in the spotlight long enough to know that even the smallest thing can cause a massive panic online. But is there something about Dalton that fans don't seem to like? I mean, why does it seem like people are jumping at the possibility of them breaking up? Although they've managed to keep a relatively low profile since they got together, there was a moment in 2021 which earned them a ton of backlash. In June that year, a video of Ariana and Dalton resurfaced online, which was then shared by various Twitter accounts. A black and white clip showed the two of them with a few of their friends, and they appeared to be participating in a mockery of Native American dance. In the video, you can see Ariana sitting at the center of the circle. She was then seen to be singing, laughing, and spinning a big piece of cloth around in the air. The other people in the group were said to be making drumming sounds. Apparently, it seemed like they were trying to summon a spirit, so it's no surprise that this was deemed offensive because it kind of seemed like they were making fun of the culture. Soon after it was posted, Ariana deleted the video because she started to receive too many negative comments. It's possible that fans interpreted this to be something way different than what was actually happening, but it's also easy to see why it was so upsetting. Aside from that, there hasn't really been many controversial moments in their relationship, and that's probably because the two of them are very adamant about privacy and keeping their life off of social media. Dalton might not be as well known as her previous boyfriends like Pete Davidson or Big Sean, but that doesn't mean he makes her any less happy. The fans seemed to be over the moon when it was revealed that they were dating. Nearly 2 years after breaking off her engagement with Pete, Ariana was spotted kissing a mystery man in LA, who was later confirmed to be Dalton. The couple began dating in January of 2020 and spent a lot of time together at Ariana's home in New York City. When the pandemic hit in March, she followed him back to LA because he had to return there for work. An inside source at the time said, "She realized he is very special. It was getting very tricky for them to see each other, so she decided to take her chance. She purchased a house in the Hollywood Hills in June and never looked back. They are incredibly happy." In May that year, Dalton appeared in the music video for Ariana and Justin Bieber's song Stuck With You. They were seen to be hugging and dancing together. Then in December of 2020, after almost 1 year of dating, Ariana announced her engagement on Instagram. She posted a photo of them together along with shots of their engagement ring. In the caption, she wrote, "Forever and then some." Several months later, in May of 2021, the couple tied the knot in a very small ceremony at their home. Apparently there were less than 20 guests there and the nuptials were informal. There was no real ceremony, just a casual exchange of vows. Ariana later shared photos from their wedding on Instagram. You could see her wearing a beautiful Vera Wang dress for her nuptials. At the time, an inside source spoke to People magazine and said they're a great fit together. Dalton's entirely unfazed by the scope of her celebrity and is very grounding for her. He's young but mature and knows what he wants out of life, which certainly seems to be the case because unlike her famous exes, he's not an entertainer, but that doesn't mean he isn't super successful on his own. Dalton is a luxury real estate agent. He works as a director of the estates division for Aaron Kerman Group. We know that he works with A-list clients and has 7 years of experience in the market. That's actually how he met Ariana, because she was looking to buy a house in LA and he was her realtor, which sounds like it would make for a great story. After all, I'm sure most celebrities still want to be able to meet someone in person, like we all do. To this day, the couple seem to be very happy together, and there's no real reason to believe that they're going to separate anytime soon. But Ariana and Dalton aren't the only couple that people think have separated. There's now speculation that Britney Spears and her husband Sam Asghari have decided to take a break. There was a bit more evidence for this one because both of them were seen without their rings, and Britney was spotted hanging out with an unidentified man in Puerto Rico over the weekend. She was photographed at Starbucks in the beachside town of Dorado wearing a black off-the-shoulder dress. Both of them were standing next to each other while looking at the menu, and they were acting pretty casual. The man was later confirmed to be a member of her security staff. As for Sam, he brushed off speculation that their marriage was in trouble. His rep explained that the two of them are not experiencing marital issues, despite the fact that they are both ditching their wedding bands. He claimed that his client has just taken off the ring because he was filming a movie at the time. While it's unclear what movie he's filming, he did announce in November that he landed a role in a television series called Lioness. He shared a photo outside what appears to be a film set on his Instagram story, as well as a selfie on a plane with his wedding ring on display. This is likely the reason that he didn't join Britney on vacation, because he was just busy working. Meanwhile, Britney seemed to be living it up in Mexico with her manager and longtime friend Kate Hudson. They posted several photos on the beach together and even a video where they were grinding on each other and getting very close. But that's absolutely nothing to worry about because the two of them have been best friends for decades. Kate has always been a really private person on social media, but we do know that he's been in Britney's inner circle for years. Back in 2014, he was seen giving her a kiss on the cheek. In 2015, they were photographed dancing together, and in 2017, she was spotted at his birthday party. He started working as her manager after her former manager, Larry Rudolph, quit. This would have been a major deal considering that he had worked with her for 25 years. He released a statement at the time saying, "I was originally hired at Britney's request to help manage and assist her with her career, and as her manager, I believe it is in Britney's best interest for me to resign from her team as my professional services are no longer needed. I wish Britney all the health and happiness in the world, and I'll be there for her if she ever needs me again, just as I always have been." Because he quit the exact same year that her conservatorship ended, the timing seemed to be a little strange, and fans were pretty shocked at his decision, but it was most likely just about his plans to retire rather than anything more scandalous. The following year, Britney and Sam tied the knot in a star-studded wedding at her mansion in California. Although most fans were very happy for her, others kept pushing the idea that her husband was somehow controlling her. This is something that Sam has had to continually deny. Back in December, he responded to a comment which accused him of controlling her social media accounts. He said, "No, I don't even control what we have for dinner." Before he proposed in September of 2021, the actor opened up about the beginning of their relationship and how he sees their future together. He spoke to Forbes in March and said, "My priorities in life are to remain humble and understand where I came from and where I'm going. I want to take my career to the next step when it comes to acting. I want to take my relationship to the next step as well. I don't mind becoming a father. I want to be a young dad." Although they seemed to have a very solid relationship when they started thinking about marriage, unfortunately their wedding was not without its hiccups, and that's kind of an understatement. Britney's ex-husband Jason Alexander gatecrashed her wedding by showing up at her house and trying to stop it. The two of them were married for 55 hours in 2004, and as you could have probably guessed, it wasn't very well thought out. They were both really young, very drunk, and decided to get married in Las Vegas after spending several days partying together. Then they got the marriage annulled after they both sobered up. So everyone was shocked that almost 20 years later, Jason came back into Britney's life only to try and ruin her wedding. He was obviously looking to get a bit of publicity out of it as well, because he filmed the whole thing on Instagram Live. What's really crazy is that he actually managed to break into her home before he got arrested for trespassing and was taken away by security. More than anything, this incident was really upsetting, considering that it happened around the same time that Britney's conservatorship came to an end. The singer was trying to start a new life and celebrate her freedom, so it's really sad that she couldn't even have a drama-free wedding. Okay, moving on, let's talk about the viral video that's been going around of the moment that Travis Scott realizes he's not very big in Japan. The rapper was filmed on a crowded street in Tokyo. At first, he was covering his face with a hoodie so no one would know that it was him. The whole thing was very dramatic because Travis was obviously trying to have some kind of a big reveal. He then takes off his hoodie and seems to walk around looking confused that no one actually recognizes him. It was extremely awkward to watch because he was clearly expecting some kind of big reaction from the crowd, only to realize that no one really knew who he was or paid him that much attention. He was literally ignored by every single pedestrian. If anything, they were just trying to get from point A to point B, and he was interrupting the flow of the crowd. At one point, he tried to laugh it off and then walk back to his group. Unfortunately, that uncomfortable moment was posted on Twitter, and now it seems like everyone was making fun of him. The video now has around 11.5 million views, and a ton of comments pointing out his mistake. They also pointed out the fact that the reveal would have worked better for bigger stars like Nicki Minaj or Beyonce, but there was just no way that Travis was going to get the same results. In fact, that video got so much attention mostly because of how funny it was. There's now a thread on Reddit dedicated to figuring out why no one seemed to recognize Travis Scott. People wrote things like, "Why are American rappers surprised by the fact that no one knows who they are overseas? And I'm in the US and I still have no clue who this even is." It's interesting to see that his fame and notoriety doesn't necessarily translate in Japan. In the US, he's known as a successful rapper who sold heaps of records, dated and had 2 children with Kylie Jenner. Not only that, but he was also directly involved, and some would even say responsible for, the horrific tragedy that was Astroworld in 2021. The event, which resulted in the death of 10 people, has become synonymous with Travis's name. I could just never imagine the severity of the situation, but no matter what excuse he had, at the end of the day, there was nothing that could bring back the lives of those 10 people. He is still being criticized for the events of that day.
Ariana Grande is being body shamed shamed on Twitter after a recent picture surfaced where people claimed that she gained weight. Her body is now one of the biggest trending hashtags on Twitter, filled with comments of people calling her fat. I've got all the details on this horrible story right now on IO. Thanks for coming back to InformOverload. We give you guys the news and we try to make it fun. Say hi to the IO team on social media. All of our links are down below. And we are also going to link one of our newest channels, so make sure you guys go check it out. It is called Top 10 Central. It's a funny reaction channel filled with basically funny videos, TikToks, memes, everything you're laughing at anyways. Plus, you get to see hosts from all of our channels. Some from Most Amazing Top 10, some from IO, some from Beyond the Screen. So make sure you guys go check it out over there. But for now, I've got a more serious topic to cover. Let's get back to this body shaming scandal. A recent behind the scenes photo of Ariana has leaked and people are accusing her of gaining weight during quarantine. If you were on Twitter this weekend, you would have seen that Ariana Grande fat was an auto-suggestion when you searched her name. Earlier this year, she was actually body shamed for being too thin, and now the case is reversed. Why people think they have the right to comment on anyone's body shape is beyond me, let alone make it a worldwide hashtag. This is the picture that everyone was commenting on. In the picture, it looks like she's just chatting with a coordinator from a show, but people were busy pointing out her so-called belly bulge. People on Twitter said that her belly pops out and that she looks noticeably fat. Not my words, I am just relaying the message. Her fans have stayed true to her though and came to her defense against the people who were calling her fat. One fan wrote, "This is actually so gross. She's finally at a healthy weight and suddenly Ariana Grande fat starts trending. Disgusting." But this tweet itself is accusing her of being at an unhealthy weight before this photo even leaked, which isn't fair in my opinion. But some people cleared it up and said that she just looks healthy, she doesn't look underweight, and she doesn't look overweight. She's just healthy. But despite some people being passionate about the trending hashtag, other users just made jokes about it. One user wrote, "Fat or anorexic, she continues to increase her fortune. Don't know, I forgot who she is." Again, people making jokes about eating disorders as if people don't actually struggle with this very serious illness. The whole thing could have just been the picture, you guys. She's wearing sweatpants, which we all know does not show our true figure, and her stomach is not bulging out at all. She's literally in the middle of a conversation, like she could just be breathing. Like breathing out, like just taking a breath. And even if she did gain some weight, she is beautiful and I don't think there's a need to point it out like this. Now, this is a super touchy subject for me, but what do you guys think about it? Share your thoughts down in the comments, and while you are doing that, I'm going to shout out some comments from my last IO news story, Justin Bieber suing TikTok star for Hailey Baldwin plastic surgery claims. Niali says, "If she's really all natural, why did she even respond that quick?" I don't know if that's fair to say, because if I was all natural, which I am, but I'm saying if I was and people started accusing me of not being, I would probably defend myself quickly. X3X says, "I feel bad for the doctor, he was just giving his opinion." You know, a lot of people were sticking up for the doctor in this one, which is interesting. Crazy Girl says, "They are so overreacting." Facts. I mean, I feel like suing probably isn't like necessary, but I guess when you have that much money, it doesn't matter. Dynasty Wolf says, "When your life is so boring, you sue people for their opinions." This actually made me laugh out loud because the doctor said, like, this is just an opinion. Like, he's not saying it's facts. He did say it was just an opinion. Yeah, a little silly.
Jeanette McCurdy, Ariana Grande, ding ding, pow. Not really. Jeanette just be jealous, and honestly, understandably so. We all feel that gentle kiss of jealousy from time to time, but let's talk about why Miss McCurdy was feeling the sting. In her new memoir, quote unquote, "I'm Glad My Mom Died," the ex-actress Jeanette McCurdy detailed exactly why and how she became jealous of her Sam and Cat co-star Ariana Grande during their time on the Nickelodeon sitcom. For a little background, McCurdy famously starred as Sam Puckett in iCarly, while Grande played Cat Valentine in Victorious. With the two being favorites from their respective shows, Nickelodeon let them reprise their roles in the spin-off Sam and Cat, which only ran for one season from 2013 to 2014. But that's not the only thing that Nickelodeon allowed. According to McCurdy, Ariana Grande was regularly allowed to miss filming for the show in order to fulfill other obligations in her music career, including singing at award shows, recording new songs, and doing press for her upcoming album. Yes, that may seem petty, but the problem wasn't that Ariana was allowed to miss filming, it was that when McCurdy had her own opportunities in her acting career, specifically 2 feature film roles when she was on iCarly, she was forced to turn them down as the writers could not write her out of the episodes to allow her to go film the movies. Which is totally unfair, as for Sam and Cat, Ariana was allowed to spend the whole episode locked in a box so that she could go pursue her music career. Jeanette wrote in her book, quote, "The week where I was told Ariana would not be here at all, and that they would write around her absence this episode by having her character be locked in a box, are you kidding me? So I have to turn down movies while Ariana's off whistle toning at the Billboard Music Awards? F this." End quote. As you can imagine, this led McCurdy to do a lot of comparing herself to her co-star. At a young age, that is not a healthy way to live. And Ariana wasn't too subtle at keeping her success too humble either, with Jeanette writing that she, quote, "didn't exactly try to hide her successes." But then Jeanette spoke of the time that it all became too much. The time that Ariana came to set after hanging out at none other than Tom Hanks' house. Jeanette wrote, quote, "Ariana came whistle-toning in with excitement because she had spent the previous evening playing charades at Tom Hanks' house. That was the moment I broke. I couldn't take it anymore. Music performances and magazine covers, whatever, I'll get over it. But playing a family game at national treasure, 2-time Academy Award winner, and 6-time nominee Tom Hanks' house? I'm done." She continued saying, quote, "Pop star success I could handle, but hanging out with Sheriff Woody, with Forrest effing Gump, this has gone too far. So now every time she misses work, it feels like a personal attack. Every time something exciting happens to her, I feel like she robbed me of having that experience myself." And it's easy to see why she feels that way. If my co-star just went and hung out with Captain Phillips, I'd probably lose my mind too. But hey, now you know why Jeanette was jealous of Ariana. Have any thoughts? Well, you know what to do. Leave it in the comments. And hey, why not like and subscribe while you're here too? I'd sure appreciate it. For now, I've been your host, Adam Andrews. You can find me on the gram in the description below. This is InformOverload, and thanks for watching. Get set, because today we're actually going to take 3 stories and just wrap them up in a nice little package, tie a bow on them, and hand deliver them to you in one little video with my face on it. I'm Adam Andrews with InformOverload, and let's jump on in. First things first, I don't know if any of you have seen this clip floating around TikTok, but back in 2020, Pete Davidson got a really good jab in on Ariana Grande in one of his live shows, and for some reason it's gaining traction almost 3 years later. So back in 2020, Pete had his Netflix special Pete Davidson Alive from New York, and during the special he spoke about comments his ex, Ariana Grande, made in a 2019 Vogue interview. Now during the interview she said, quote, "I met Pete and it was an amazing distraction. It was frivolous and fun and insane and highly unrealistic, and I loved him, and I didn't know him." The two started dating in May of 2018 and kind of prematurely, in my opinion, had a 5-month-long engagement. Obviously, they broke up. Now, Pete didn't mention it much, but after hearing about the things she said to Vogue from a friend of his, he decided a clapback was in order. Obviously, it's way funnier coming out of the man himself, so go watch the clip if you haven't, but this is how it went. Pete said, quote, "So now I just think it's like fair game." And you're like, "Pete, this isn't fair. You're like airing out your dirty laundry. How could you do that? Why did she say this stuff? To her friends in the confidence of her own home?" No, she said it on the cover of Vogue magazine. Can you imagine if I did that? My career would be over tomorrow. If I spray painted myself brown and hopped on the cover of Vogue magazine and just started on my ex. Now you probably know about this too, but Pete is referencing the fact that Vogue and Ariana Grande came under scrutiny for seemingly darkening her skin by a significant amount for the cover of the magazine. The flabbergasted reactions from the crowd made the joke just that much better, as I don't believe they were expecting such a ruthless joke from the comedian. It did get a bit of a chuckle out of me, I'm not gonna lie, and Pete made sure to reiterate that it was just a joke, but you could tell there was this like slight stinging feeling underneath, and honestly, yeah, I'd be bothered if my ex said that about me too. But hey, it's kind of old news now. The clip itself has been circulating on TikTok. I actually just saw it last night for the first time. Did you see the clip? Alright, for our second story, we're talking about an article by the Washington Post that came out yesterday, December 6th, and it's all about the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle docuseries that seeks to explain their their split from the rest of the royal family from their own perspective. In the USA, where they now live, the couple are actually pretty well received and well liked, but this isn't necessarily the case back in the UK. Obviously, in the UK, there is a bigger showing of support for the royal family itself. Not unanimously or anything, but they definitely have a bigger fan base, which means that many people, including tabloids and members of the press, had a rather unsavory view of the couple. For example, Piers Morgan, a longtime critic of Meghan, wrote on Monday, "Another day, another nauseatingly self-serving, whiny trailer from the royal renegades Meghan and Harry for their upcoming Netflix trash-a-thon of their own family." Essentially, the article from the Washington Post is all about the docuseries and most of the efforts of Meghan and Harry seemingly trying to gain control of their own narrative. Now, this kind of thing is actually pretty commonplace for the royal family. Controlling the narrative that is put out about them, whether it's interviews with sympathetic reporters, cooperating on biographies, and just having a firm grip on what their image is exactly. So it just seems that in an effort to rally their own supporters and to not be smeared by the royal family itself, they're just taking on new means to tell their own story. And it's not like this docuseries is the first time it's happened. At first, it was just about building their social media presence, but they have been doing podcasts, TV interviews like the one with Oprah, and they also have pursued lawsuits against British tabloids. It's smart, and they have honestly garnered a lot of support. If you watch interviews, particularly with younger Brits, the royal family itself isn't exactly the most popular. This docuseries is being put up in part thanks to the couple's very own production company, and they are supplying never-before-seen footage and pictures. So, of course, they do have some control over what is being said here. But some people are set on poking holes in the couple's story, calling out pictures that were featured in the trailer for the series about the truth and their relationship that were taken before the relationship even began. And a lot of tabloids have put out headlines that honestly seem kind of petty and butthurt. The Times of London ran a front page headline on Tuesday that said, "Prince Harry and Meghan have declared all-out war against the royal family." Another started their article with, quote, "Quick, nurse, pass the sick bag, the wokest couple in all the West is at it again." I don't know, it just seems just a little bit petty to me. Just a little bit out of pocket and kind of not necessary. Like, you could just tell the truth, that's kind of their job, but hey, I work here. Honestly, this is what all members of the royal family do. It's all about image and public perception and efforts to control it. And that's been true for members of not just this royal family, but pretty much every royal family ever. The game of narrative control is their bread and butter, but we can only know exactly what Harry and Meghan say is when the first 3 episodes of the docuseries come out on Netflix December 8th. And lastly for our video today, the Netflix hit show Wednesday is getting some backlash of its own. Reviews for the show that dropped November 23rd have been pretty positive, and mainly that's attributed to Jenna Ortega's performance as Wednesday Addams. It's also breaking records for the most watched TV show on Netflix in a single week, totaling 341.2 million hours, which beat out the previous record holder Stranger Things. But with the good, there is also the bad, and the show has been receiving a few negative reviews from critics and some on social media. The series and its executive producer Tim Burton are being accused mainly of racism, after it was noted that the few black actors that are actually in the show have been cast as only villains or bullies. All 3 of the show's main and recurring black actors, Joy Sunday, Iman Marson, and Tommy Earl Jenkins, have been cast as antagonistic characters, with Jenkins and Marson playing the father-son duo of Noble, a bully, and Lucas Walker, the incredibly shady and somewhat corrupt mayor of the town. And Joy Sunday is playing Bianca, the top popular mean girl student at Nevermore and a siren who uses her powers to get into Nevermore in the first place. On top of that, Lucas and Noble own a theme park and museum dedicated to the memory of pilgrims and colonizers, and that was also pointed out in the arguments against the show, with some claiming it to be ridiculous and nonsensical to have a black mayor praising genocidal colonizers and pilgrims. Some have said that the series creators, Alfred Goh and Miles Miller, seem to have wrote the characters as if they were white, but then placed black actors in the roles with no thought as to how their race might have impacted their beliefs and values. Obviously, these negative reviews have caused some bickering and controversy online. Obviously, casting a person of color as an antagonist is not itself racist, and the characters, particularly Bianca, do have more significant layers to to them and growth in the show's storyline. But then again, Tim Burton himself has had a bit of history with racism, being accused of rarely ever casting minorities in his films in the first place. And the few times he has, they were also pretty much all cast as antagonistic roles. But really, the final say is up to the people. That's you guys. And we here at InformOverload would love to hear what exactly your opinion on this is down in the comments below. Actually, let's talk about everything down there. Did you find Pete Davidson's jokes funny? How did you feel about Harry, Meghan, and the royal family? Do you care about any of this at all?
A lot of Ariana Grande fans were upset to learn that she would not be attending the 2022 Grammys. Apparently, the prospect of winning 3 Grammy Awards just wasn't enough to get her to come to this year's ceremony. The two-time winner shocked fans just hours before the event started when she announced that she would be skipping the 64th annual Grammy Awards. But stick around to find out why. After she announced she was going to be missing the event this year, her name immediately became a trending topic on Twitter, with thousands of fans expressing how heartbroken they were and sharing their disappointment. This year, she is nominated for her song and album, both titled Positions, as well as her feature on Doja Cat's album called Planet Her. Writing on Instagram, she addressed the nominations and said that she and all the other nominees have already won. Along with the announcement, she also shared 10 short videos from the production of her album. The clips featured Ariana in the studio, live musicians recording the songs, and a lot of behind-the-scenes shots as well from her music videos. In her Instagram caption, she writes, "Some Positions memories to celebrate Grammy Day, reflecting on an incredible process with so many creatives that I love and respect so deeply. I love this album, so it's an honor to be recognized today alongside so many brilliant musicians and human beings that I love. To have each other, to have the gifts that we have, to share and feel heard is not something to take for granted. We've already won. Have a beautiful time. I am celebrating all of you there today." And one of the top comments was Ariana's mother, who said, "Ariana, brava, your brilliance in music is only surpassed by the brilliance you have in your heart. I am so proud of you all the time. I love you." In 2019, Grande actually skipped the Grammys after a disagreement over her scheduled performance. You see, she wanted to perform 7 Rings, but show producers reportedly wouldn't let her. They tried to compromise by allowing her to perform the song as part of a bigger medley. However, she decided to drop out entirely. Although it's unclear why she decided not to attend this year's show, regardless, here's hoping that she wins some awards and is able to celebrate at home with her husband and her dogs.
Over the weekend, Pete Davidson was caught on camera having a very uncomfortable interaction with a fan. He was attending an NBA game in New York City, watching the Knicks playoff against the Cleveland Cavaliers at Madison Square Gardens. At one point, Pete was spotted in the crowd meeting fans after the game. He was taking the time to pose for some photos and videos with other Knicks fans. But while he's taking a selfie with one fan, an older looking man approaches him and tries to put his arm around him. It seems like he was trying to tell Pete something, but it was difficult to know what it was. Pete didn't react at first, but when the man got closer, he angrily pushed him away. It's not clear whether the man said something to him when he approached him, but it looks like he completely overstepped his boundaries while he was already taking pictures with fans. The actor then went back to taking selfies with other people before trying to shake off the interaction. So it's possible that he said something inappropriate or downright creepy. This might actually be the case because another video posted to TikTok shows a different angle of the incident. You can see that the man grabs Pete several times and tries to lay his head on his shoulder. He even looks like he's trying to kiss him at one point. Judging by his facial expressions, you can tell that Pete was really uncomfortable about this whole thing. So there was definitely something weird going on. Unfortunately, this kind of thing happens to celebrities way too often. Some fans have no concept of boundaries or personal space, and they only think about getting their picture taken above all else. It's impossible to know what this guy's motives really were, but there was something really icky about it. Although Pete was physically capable of pushing him away, it doesn't make the interaction any less scary. It also ruins the experience for other fans who genuinely just want to meet him and get a nice photo. This latest news comes 1 week after it was revealed that Pete would be making his SNL hosting debut on May the 6th, which is a pretty big deal given the fact that he has recently criticized the show for making a mockery of his love life. When he went on John Berthnell's podcast, he said that he hated the fact that his relationships became a punchline to the writers and other comedians. This left him feeling like a loser and made him super insecure. While he was on SNL, he would often poke fun at himself and his relationships during the weekend update segment, but when other people took these references and made them into other sketches, that's what really made him feel terrible about himself. Pete explained the feeling of sitting in the back and watching the cold open and having to hear himself being mocked by the person on stage. He said, "Then you've got to walk out and do a sketch next and hit your mark, and the show just made fun of you, like they just dogged you in front of everyone, and you're like, I'm an effing loser, man." He claimed that it was these kinds of jokes that made him feel small and insecure. He eventually quit the show in May last year, but but not before putting the writers on blast. He said, "I personally think I should be done with that show because they make fun of me on it. I'm just fodder now. If I'm just fodder now, maybe I shouldn't be there. They think I'm effing dumb, like I'm literally painted to be this big dumb idiot." So Pete obviously had a whole lot of pent-up resentment from years of being the butt of every joke, but he doesn't seem to have anything against other cast members or even the show's creator Lorne Michaels, which means hopefully we might one day see him make a full-fledged return to SNL. First up, it looks like Pete Davidson might be facing criminal charges more than 7 weeks after he crashed his car into a Beverly Hills home. According to sources in law enforcement, police only recently wrapped the investigation into the crash. The case is now being reviewed by the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office to determine whether or not Pete will be charged for the incident. We know that substances and alcohol were ruled out as factors in the crash, but Pete was traveling at a really high rate of speed, so it's possible that a reckless driving charge is on the table. On the 4th of March, the actor was driving with his girlfriend Chase Sue Wonders. He then jumped a curb, lost control of his Mercedes, and drove through someone's yard. He smashed into the corner of a house. The accident seemingly totaled his car, leaving the entire left bumper destroyed and shattering the driver's side window and front windshield. No one was injured in the crash, although there was a teen girl who was home alone at the time when his car went into the corner of her living room. Both Pete and Chase have since issued an apology to the family, and they decided not to sue. Photos from the incident show him looking exhausted while he was talking to police officers. He was wearing a hoodie and a blue jacket while talking to police and handing over some paperwork. So it was clearly a very messy situation for everyone involved. After his split from Emily Ratajkowski, Pete started spending a lot more time with Chase. In January, the actors were spotted together several times, including a lunch date in New York City and a trip to the Universal Studios in Los Angeles. Later that month, they went on vacation to Hawaii. Neither of them have immediately addressed their relationship status, but a source close to the stars has since spoken out about how they got together. They said Pete and Chase had insane chemistry on set, as well as when the cameras weren't rolling. They met last year on the set of the American slasher film Bodies, 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 where they had an on-screen romance. So what do we know about Chase? Well, she graduated from Harvard University, where she majored in film studies and production. Even though she doesn't have many credits to her name, her career has slowly been picking up speed over the last couple of years. She started acting as a protagonist for the 2009 adventure movie A Trivial Exclusion. Apart from playing Emma in Bodies, 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 she's mostly known for starring as Riley in the American dramedy TV series Generation. When compared to Pete's previous girlfriends like Kim Kardashian and Ariana Grande, Chase is clearly a lot more private, but his relationship with her seems to be getting more serious these days. In fact, People magazine reported that both of them were in upstate New York during Easter because Pete was thinking about purchasing a house, and apparently they were looking at homes in the area together. The couple have also hung out with Martha Stewart at her farm. Martha then posted a really cute photo of the three of them on Instagram. They were standing in front of her home and smiling. In the caption she wrote, "They were looking at our beautiful town of Bedford. I showed them around the farm and inside the winter house where the Easter bunnies were getting ready for Sunday. Very cute couple." So clearly she approves of the two of them together. Even though Chase and Pete were said to have been dating since December, that hasn't stopped speculation of his next celebrity girlfriend. After he broke up with Emily Ratajkowski, several theories have started circulating around the internet as fans were trying to work out who he would be dating next. And some of these suggestions were downright ridiculous. So fans definitely need to chill with all the speculation because Pete is very clearly in a happy relationship. And now Pete Davidson has put SNL on blast. It turns out he has some very serious beef with them because they constantly use his personal life as material in their jokes. Pete went on John Berthnell's podcast Real Ones and admitted that he felt like his love life became a punchline to the writers and other comedians. This left him feeling like a loser and made him super insecure. While he was on SNL, he would often poke fun at himself and his relationships during the Weekend Update segment. But when other people took these references and made them into other sketches, that's what made him feel like a loser. He said, "Suddenly you're in this zeitgeist, and that has nothing to do with the work. And that's a really crappy feeling." He explained the feeling of sitting in the back watching the cold open and having to hear himself being mocked by the person on stage. He said, "Then you've got to walk out and do a sketch next and hit your mark, and the show just made fun of you. Like they just dogged you in front of everyone, and you're like, I'm an effing loser." Pete went on to say that the whole thing was really difficult because it made him feel small and super insecure. This latest admission was pretty shocking to hear, but it's not actually the first time that Pete has publicly turned his back on SNL. In 2020, he put the writers on blast and straight up said, "I personally think I should be done with that show because they make fun of me on it. If I'm just fodder now, maybe I just shouldn't be there. They think think I'm effing dumb, like I'm literally painted out to be this big dumb idiot. If you're an SNL fan, you probably know what he's talking about. In most of the sketches that he's in, Pete tends to play the same stupid character. Most people remember the pool guy Chad, who talks like he only has one brain cell left. So it's easy to see why he would be feeling this way. Throughout the 8 seasons he was on the show, his personal life became a huge talking point on social media, which only escalated when he started dating Ariana Grande. Since then, the public's obsession with his love life has not slowed down one bit. He's been linked to multiple big names including Phoebe Deneva, Kate Beckinsale, Kaya Gerber, Emily Ratajkowski, and Kim Kardashian. And most of those relationships have been very public too. Pete said, "I'm in my 20s and I've dated people, and for some reason that's very crazy and interesting to people. I don't think it's interesting. I've been in show business for like half of my life almost, for 14 or 15 years and on a national TV show." In that time frame, he claims that he's only dated 10 people, which of course he thinks is pretty reasonable. That's why he doesn't understand why people care so much. He said that he met a lot of people through his work on the show, which makes perfect sense. After all, there's about a million different celebrities that come on SNL. And it's no secret that some of them become friends with the cast. I mean, that's just bound to happen. In the weirdest turn of events ever, everyone is asking the question, are Pete Davidson and Ice Spice dating? We all know how the internet loves to try and predict Pete's dating life. And what started out as something of a joke, fans eventually connected him to Ice Spice and decided that they would make a good match. But are they actually dating? Well, I can answer that right now, no they are not. Unlike those Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny romance rumors that came from gossip sites and could at least be a little verified, it seems like Twitter started this one all on its own. Someone tweeted, "Hear me out one time. It's June 2023, Pete Davidson and Ice Spice are dating." Then another person took that and ran with it. They said, "I give it 6 months till Pete Davidson is dating Ice Spice." After the mention of their names together began trending, it led to a full-blown misunderstanding. Someone posted a meme of all his ex-girlfriends together on the Infinity Gauntlet with the caption, "Pete Davidson finally collected all the Infinity Stones." Another person posted a video of a man crying in the rain and wrote, "Pete Davidson dating Ice Spice? Streets is done." But even though the rumors sent Twitter into a frenzy, not many people seem to realize that Pete is actually dating his co-star Chase Sue Wonders. Last month, the two of them were spotted heading into his New York City apartment, fueling speculation that they might be moving their on-screen romance off-screen. They were also spotted leaving a hockey game around the same time. They met last year on the set of the American slasher film Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And if you didn't know, Chase Sue Wonders is a 26-year-old actress from Detroit. Interestingly enough, she's the niece of American fashion designer Anna Sue. She graduated from Harvard University, where she majored in film studies and production. Chase started her acting career as a protagonist and co-director for the 2009 action-adventure movie A Trivial Exclusion. Apart from playing Emma in Bodies, 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 she's also known for starring as Riley in the American dramedy TV series Generation. Although their romance started off as speculation, it's clearly gotten a bit more serious. But when you look at Pete Davidson's track record, it's no surprise that fans keep playing this guessing game called Who Will He Date Next? Over the last 2 years, he seems to have dated all the beautiful women in Hollywood, from Kim Kardashian to Ariana Grande, and most recently Emily Ratajkowski. Before dating Kim, Pete was in the spotlight for dating Bridgerton actress Phoebe Deneva. But one person fans have been wanting him to get with is undoubtedly Julia Fox. If these two got together, it's safe to say that the celebrity world would simply spontaneously combust. Julia and Pete are actually connected in so many ways, seeing that they were both wronged by Kanye West, and they both seem to have big, outgoing personalities that would really suit each other. In fact, Julia has gone viral many times for her outlandish sense of humor, and also for her refreshing feminist takes, which earned her a devoted female fan base across the internet, which is actually something that Pete seems to have as well. Although they're not together at the moment, most people would agree that it would be a match made in heaven. When it comes to Pete Davidson, fans have spent a lot of time asking one question: who will he date next? It seems like famous women are lining up to date him, so it's only a matter of time before his next high-profile fling. Over the last 2 years, Pete seems to have dated all the beautiful women in Hollywood, from Kim Kardashian to Ariana Grande. He's also recently started seeing Emily Ratajkowski, although there are already rumors that the couple have called it quits. So now the internet has started to make predictions about who they think will catch his eye, and some of the names on this list might seriously surprise you. Number 10, Julia Fox. Fans have been calling for this relationship to happen for a while. If these two got together, it's safe to say that the celebrity world would simply spontaneously combust. Julia and Pete are actually connected in so many ways, seeing that they were both wronged by Kanye West, and they seem to both have big, outgoing personalities that would suit each other. In fact, Julia has gone viral many times for her outlandish sense of humor and refreshing feminist takes, which earned her a devoted female fan base across the internet. A lot of that has to do with her hot takes. In one TikTok video that left fans stunned, she explained that she's committed to being a man repellent, so much so that she regularly bleaches her eyebrows because men absolutely hate it. Judging from the reactions on Twitter, you can tell that people really love how memeable she is. One person wrote, "When Julia Fox releases her book, I'm going to read it with a highlighter as if it were the Old Testament." Another tweet said, "I think Pete Davidson should date, and I mean this so seriously, Julia Fox. I think they would be soulmates." But let's not forget that apart from their personalities, Julia and Pete would also look great together. How do we know? Because they dressed up as Ken and Barbie for the November 2019 Break the Internet issue of Paper Magazine, and the photos turned out phenomenal. Number 9, Florence Pugh. Yes, there are plenty of talented actresses in Hollywood, but only a handful who can truly disappear into a role, with a performance so captivating that you find yourself deeply invested in their character. That is Florence Pugh. She's the kind of actress who gravitates towards characters who are either at their breaking points or strong enough in their own mindset that they are willing to fight back against those who are trying to stop them. Florence gained immense popularity for her role as Natasha Romanov's little sister, Yelena Belova, in Marvel's Black Widow, but by that point, she'd already made her mark on the industry. In 2015, she took on the role of Lady Macbeth, which would signify the beginning of her rise to the top. Then she played an ambitious amateur wrestler in Fighting with My Family, a traumatized woman in A24's Midsommar, and the iconic Amy March in Greta Gerwig's Little Women. She's not just a talented actress though, fans also love her for her sense of humor, which earned her the title of one of the most down-to-earth celebrities on Instagram. Whether she's making silly faces, testing out a new travel pillow, or falling on the kitchen floor next to a chili, Florence seems like she's just a joy to be around. She's previously dated Zach Braff, although fans were extremely vocal about their disdain for the relationship, considering that the former couple had a 21-year age gap. Clearly though, Pete would be a lot closer to her in age. Number 8, Miley Cyrus. Last year, Miley and Pete sparked dating rumors while promoting their upcoming NBC New Year's Eve special called Miley's New Year's Eve Party. When the announcement was made on her Instagram, the singer posted a picture with her arms wrapped around Pete. She captioned their photo, "Big debut energy. Pete and I are official co-hosts, that is, watching Fallon tonight, our first show together as a pair." From that point on, rumors started circulating around the internet about them possibly dating. The comment section was filled with fans excited about their new hosting gig and curious about their relationship status. But the theory might have been just a theory, because while Miley was single at the time, Pete was dating Kim Kardashian. After the singer made their hosting debut announcement, the two were guests on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, all to discuss their New Year's Eve celebration in Miami. Miley then poked fun at Pete's relationship with Kim, implying that she was jealous of his girlfriend. She performed a cover of the song It Should Have Been Me, which was dedicated to Pete. Then she changed the lyrics to say, "Pete Davidson, how are you gonna do this to me? Oh yeah, it should have been me in that Lamborghini, leaving that nice restaurant." Although back then it was obvious that the two of them were only friends, but if they should ever be single at the same time, they might be a good match for each other. Halle Bailey. Although the actress and singer is currently dating rapper DDG, there's no doubt that she would look great with Pete Davidson, and it's easy to see why. The 22-year-old Halle is the undeniable it girl right now, and she's going to be playing Ariel in the 2023 adaptation of The Little Mermaid. She is tasked with the revival of a beloved character on screen for a whole new generation of movie fans. 4 years ago, Halle landed the title role in the live-action remake of the classic film, and next year's premiere will mark a critical pivot in her career as she makes a leap from music to movie stardom, not to mention her upcoming appearance in the film version of the Broadway musical The Color Purple. Together, these projects will no doubt make her one of the more promising young actors of her generation. But if you weren't familiar with her before, Halle has actually been in the public eye for more than a decade, as her and her older sister Chloe achieved global recognition for their covers of popular songs, which they began posting on YouTube when they were teenagers. After their take on Beyonce's Pretty Hurts went viral, Beyonce herself took the girls under her wing and got them signed to a deal under her Parkwood Entertainment label. Since then, they've opened for Beyonce and Jay-Z, starred in Ivy Park campaigns, and walked the runway for brands like Dolce & Gabbana. Although we cannot predict that Halle and Pete Davidson will ever be single at the same time, there's always wishful thinking. Number 6, Alexa Demi. The actress is very well known for her role in the fantastic drama series Euphoria, playing Maddie Perez, which paved the way for Alexa to become a very popular face. Her character on Euphoria was confident and complicated, but she ended up being one of the most iconic characters on the show. Her bold makeup and fashion looks never failed to set off a wave of trends week after week. Alexa's first role was in a 2015 short film called Miles. After that, she held guest spots in television shows like Ray Donovan Donovan, and Love. And she also starred in movies like Wave, Mainstream, and the Jonah Hill-directed comedy drama Mid-90s. Not only is she incredibly talented as an actress, but her expertise extends to many other areas. In fact, you might be surprised to know that she's also a musician and a designer whose brand has been worn by several A-list celebrities. In an October 2020 episode of the A24 podcast, Alexa explained that when she was in high school, she went to downtown LA and bought a box of sunglasses. She then got creative and bejeweled them herself, spending about 3 days handcrafting each pair. Eventually, stars like Jennifer Lopez and Nicki Minaj started wearing them, and Alexa traveled to Japan and Taiwan for trade shows. Talk about girl boss. As for her love life, it turns out, sadly, yes, she is taken. She's been dating singer-songwriter Christian Barisha since 2017, and although their relationship seems to be super private, it looks like they're still going strong. Number 5, Kaylee Cuoco. While Pete and Kaylee were busy promoting their new romantic comedy Meet Cute, some fans seem to think that the two of them were also in a relationship off-screen. In fact, several months ago, Kaylee had to explicitly shut down rumors that she and Pete had started dating in real life, given that they played on-screen love interests with obvious chemistry. She acknowledged that their time together on set would make some people believe that they had got together, but she insisted that their relationship has always been on the platonic side. While speaking to Glamour in April, she said, "We became really good friends, and he truly is one of the nicest people in the world. I love seeing him on set, how he was with fans and with the crew. He took pictures with everybody." The actress also said that despite his enormous fame, her co-star managed to stay a pretty humble person. She said, "I don't even think he knows how famous he is. I know that sounds cheesy, but I don't think he knows. I got to know him very well and he doesn't thrive on that. He's just Pete. He laughs everything off." Although she has a lot of praise for the comedian and seemed like she would love to work with him again, Kaylee is currently in a relationship with fellow actor Tommy Pelfrey, and looking at her Instagram, it doesn't look like they're going to break up anytime soon. Number 4, Megan Fahey. The actress originally rose to stardom after playing Sutton Brady in Freeform's The Bold Type from 2017 to 2021, and she certainly left a lasting impression on fans. Megan first started acting on stage, but she's since found immense success in film and television. She starred in shows like The Good Wife, Necessary Roughness, Political Animals, Chicago Fire, and Gossip Girl, and not to mention, of course, The Bold Type. Now the actress is being rightfully hailed as the breakout star of HBO's The White Lotus. Season 2 had a stacked ensemble that included more established names such as Jennifer Coolidge, Michael Imperioli, Aubrey Plaza, and Theo James. But it was Megan's performance as Daphne, the blissfully apolitical wife to a skeevy finance guy, that really stuck with viewers. Her character is bubbly and seemingly aloof, a rich woman who does not work and can't remember the last time she voted. But through her talent as a performer, Megan shows us the inner calculations that are always rippling beneath the surface. She manages to make Daphne fascinatingly elusive, and if anything, that only speaks to her skills as an actor. Although, as for her love life, it's rumored that she might be dating none other than her White Lotus co-star, Leo Woodall, the actor behind The British Nephew, Jack. Romance rumors were first fueled in September, when the actor shared plenty of PDA-fueled pics of the pair, but it's worth noting that nothing has been confirmed yet. Number 3, Chase Sue Wonders. This month, Pete and Chase were spotted heading into the comedian's swanky New York City apartment, fueling speculation that they may be moving their on-screen romance off-screen. The two were photographed chatting and laughing outside the building as Pete showed her something on his phone. The couple then tried to stay under the radar, with Pete wearing a hoodie over his head, baggy sweatpants, and slippers, while Chase opted for a baseball hat, a camouflage jacket, flared jeans, and heeled boots. They were also spotted at a hockey game around the same time, but this wasn't the first time that they've been seen out together. In fact, they met last year on the set of the American slasher film Bodies, 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 which makes it seem that the co-stars really hit things off while filming. So now the internet is beginning to ask who Chase Sue Wonders is. The 26-year-old American actress was born in Detroit, Michigan. Interestingly enough, she's the niece of American fashion designer Anna Sue. The actress graduated from Harvard University, where she majored in film studies and production. In fact, she also wrote for the college publication called the Harvard Lampoon. Chase started her acting career as a protagonist and co-director for the 2009 action-adventure movie A Trivial Exclusion. Apart from playing Emma in Bodies, 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 she's mostly known for starring as Riley in the American dramedy series Generation. So it looks like she might have caught Pete Davidson's eye recently, even though sources close to the comedian have since come out and claimed that they're just good friends. Number 2, Zoe Kravitz. The actress is show business royalty as the daughter of actor Lisa Bonet and musician Lenny Kravitz. Zoe has always been a brilliant actress, but she blew fans away with her portrayal of Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, in the most recent Batman movie starring alongside Robert Pattinson. American director Matt Reeves described Zoe as smart, funny, honest, unpretentious, and a great creative partner. To get into character, she said that she watched videos of big cats and gradually adopted their physical attributes. To prepare for the role, she trained for 4 months because she wanted to make sure it felt believable that she was physically capable of doing all the things that she was doing on screen. And all that effort really paid off with her stellar performance. Her role in The Batman earned her global recognition, but it was actually a TV series called Big Little Lies that became her launchpad. After that, Zoe was able to take on more and more multi-layered characters with a lot of depth to them, including the Hulu reboot of the 1995 romantic comedy High Fidelity, in which she both starred and executive produced. But as for her love life, right now Zoe is more than smitten with her boyfriend of 1 year, Channing Tatum. According to Page 6, the actress has told close friends that she's looking towards the future with him, so it sounds like things are getting pretty serious. And coming in at number 1, Lily Rose Depp. The daughter of Johnny Depp and French model Vanessa Paradis seems like the exact type that Pete Davidson has been into lately. The 23-year-old has been doing very well in the acting and modeling scene for a couple of years now. In fact, she'll be starring in a new HBO show co-created by Euphoria's Sam Levinson and The Weeknd. The Idol explores the complicated relationship between a cult leader and a pop star on the rise. It's true that there's not a ton of info about Lily's relationships, and that's because she likes to keep things private. She went on the Drew Barrymore show back in 2021 and said, "The value of privacy is something that's been instilled in me from an early age. Growing up in a family like I did, it was always something that I learned the importance of privacy and valuing that and keeping things just for yourself. And that's something that I've carried on into my own career, and it's really important to me." The actress was once linked to her Yoga Hosers co-star Austin Butler, as the two were spotted making out after a dinner date. She then started dating Timothée Chalamet after they met on set of The King. In the summer of 2018, the couple were photographed making out on a yacht. These days though, Lily seems to be dating French rapper Yassine Stein, as the two of them have been linked back in 2021.
Late night rendezvous Chase and Pete, or just so-called friends? Who really knows? Pete Davidson and CSW were spotted at Pete's place late at night, and while we've all been told they're just great friends, some of the photos that captured the two seem to tell a different story. Pete, 29, attempted to go unnoticed by wearing a gray hoodie and sweatpants. Chase, 26, wore a baseball cap, jeans, and a jacket. The two were spotted late Monday night arriving at Davidson's apartment in New York City, and they seem to have been having a great time with each other yet again. Dating rumors have been circulating, but a rep for Pete shot them down immediately, telling TMZ that the pair are definitely not an item, but instead great friends, and they have been since they met filming Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Wonders was recently romantically linked to Riverdale actor Charles Melton. Earlier this year, they seemingly confirmed their relationship by packing on the PDA in New York City. Back in July, Melton had made it Instagram official by posting a photo of Chase at a baseball game. The two were wearing matching Brooklyn Cyclone hats as Charles wrapped his arms around her, but it looks like she's moved on because she seems to be getting along really well with Davidson. Over the weekend, Pete and Chase were seen shopping at a Whole Foods in Brooklyn, and while waiting at the checkout, they were spotted exchanging smiles. Wonders does appear to be a significant part of Davidson's life, even though he is in a relationship with Emily Ratajkowski, despite the fact that it is unknown what role she may be in the new program series titled Bupkis, which is a fictionalized heightened version of Davidson's own life. Davidson and the model who started dating last month are apparently still going strong and getting a little more serious. A Hollywood insider added that the 31-year-old and comedian are really enjoying their time together and have similar vibes, personality-wise and style-wise. However, their relationship could merely be infatuation, as the both stars had recently gone through breakups. The rumored couple was seen getting a bit cozy at the model's New York City apartment, which nearly came as a nod at the two stars mingling. There have also been rumors that Davidson's mother Amy Waters wished to meet Ratajkowski, as well as hoping that her son would finally settle down. Pete Davidson is at the center of yet another rumored celebrity relationship, this time with model Emily Ratajkowski. Luckily for all the single ladies, Pete Davidson seems to be back on the market these days after news spread about the breakup between him and former girlfriend Emily. In August 2022, the comedian was reportedly dumped by Kim Kardashian after nearly a year of headlines, tattoos, and red carpet appearances. Around the same time, Radikowski split from her husband of 4 years, Sebastian Bear McLeod. Fast forward to November 2022, and suddenly everything's coming up Pam Radisson. Well, let's be real, we should have all seen it coming, to be honest. Especially after Emily had explained to Seth Meyers back in November of this year why so many women in Hollywood are down to date Davidson. Obviously, women find him very attractive, she says. Guys are like, wow, what's this guy got? I mean, he seems super charming, he's vulnerable, he's lovely, his fingernail polish is awesome, he looks good, he's great. Good relationship with his mother, we love it. On November 13th, 2022, Pam Radisson rose. In mid-November of this year, the celeb gossip Instagram account De Moi posted an anonymous tip about the pair. Rada and Pete Davidson on a date in Brooklyn together, holding hands and all, the source wrote per Cosmopolitan screenshot. His hands were all over her and they're clearly hooking up. A couple of days later, people reported that the pair are seeing each other. Apparently, this rebound is just what the doctor ordered. Emily is doing well and getting more adjusted to her life as a single mom since her divorce, a source told Entertainment later in the month. She is dating and having fun with it. She's in a good headspace. Now, given that Pete very recently split from Kim back in August after 9 months of dating, internet users immediately questioned how the beauty mogul would react to his apparent new relationship. Several sources who spoke to Us Weekly and E! News claim that Pete and Emily have a lot of flirtatious chemistry and are in the early stages of dating. The icing on the cake came when some photos of Davidson and Radikowski looking rather cozy surfaced online after the two had seemingly been celebrating this comedian's 29th birthday in New York. One Twitter user predicted that there'd be drama coming for sure because of Kim and Emily's friendship, while others seemed to believe that Kim had thrown a little shade towards Pete by posting a TikTok featuring a song by his ex Ariana Grande. However, according to sources close to Kim who spoke with Hollywood Life on Thursday, the mogul is totally fine with the whole thing. Kim has known Emily for some time and she approves of them dating each other, an insider said. She thinks it's cute and she is legit happy that he found someone that is more his speed and on the same wavelength as him. But for Pete, it seems to be one rebound after another because it looks like the ex-SNL star might have another rebound on his hands because he was out on a grocery store date with a mystery woman who appeared to be none other than Chase Sue Wonders herself. Davidson was at a Whole Foods Saturday afternoon in Brooklyn where he was definitely trying to lay low and stay incognito, as was his lady friend next to him. Both of them were wearing their hoods completely over their heads as they exchanged smiles at the checkout. Lucky for us, Pete likes to recycle his fits a bit, because anyone would recognize that New York jacket anywhere. It's the exact same jacket he wore to the Rangers game on Thursday, where CSW was also in attendance with her fellow Bodies cast members. The cat was almost out of the bag at the hockey game, but there could be plausible deniability since their co-star Rachel Sennott was also tagging along with the two, which could have been just a friendly three-way outing. If you haven't seen the movie yet, the two play a couple on screen, David and Emma, who have a rocky relationship, and clearly based on the two's get-together, their chemistry in the real world seemed to be much stronger with a lot less drama. We also haven't seen Pete with Radikowski in a while either, which is more evidence that this thing between him and Chase might actually be romantic. Plus, I mean, come on, you don't just bring anyone to a Whole Foods with you, because we all know that's the real deal right there.
First things first, I don't know if any of you have seen this clip floating around TikTok, but back in 2020, Pete Davidson got a really good jab in on Ariana Grande in one of his live shows, and for some reason, it's gaining traction almost 3 years later. So, back in 2020, Pete had his Netflix special, Pete Davidson Alive from New York, and during the special, he spoke about comments his ex, Ariana Grande, made in a 2019 Vogue interview. Now, during the interview, she said, quote, "I met Pete and it was an amazing distraction. It was frivolous and fun and insane and highly unrealistic, and I loved him, and I didn't know him." The two started dating in May of 2018 and kind of prematurely, in my opinion, had a 5-month-long engagement. Obviously, they broke up. Now, Pete didn't mention it much, but after hearing about the things she said to Vogue from a friend of his, he decided a clapback was in order. Obviously, it's way funnier coming out of the man himself, so go watch the clip if you haven't, but this is how it went. Pete said, quote, "So now I just think it's like fair game." And you're like, "Pete, this isn't fair. You're like airing out your dirty laundry. How could you do that? Why did she say this stuff? To her friends in the confidence of her own home?" No, she said it on the cover of Vogue magazine. Can you imagine if I did that? My career would be over tomorrow. If I spray painted myself brown and hopped on the cover of Vogue magazine and just started on my ex. Now, you probably know about this too, but Pete is referencing the fact that Vogue and Ariana Grande came under scrutiny for seemingly darkening her skin by a significant amount for the cover of the magazine. scene. The flabbergasted reactions from the crowd made the joke just that much better, as I don't believe they were expecting such a ruthless joke from the comedian. It did get a bit of a chuckle out of me, I'm not gonna lie, and Pete made sure to reiterate that it was just a joke, but you could tell there was this like slight stinging feeling underneath, and honestly, yeah, I'd be bothered if my ex said that about me too. But hey, it's kind of old news now. The clip itself has been circulating on TikTok. I actually just saw it last night for the first time. Did you see the clip?
Why are so many people saying they prefer Emily Ratajkowski for Pete Davidson over Kim Kardashian? Let's break it down. Although both women are certified A-list hotties and former best friends, there are quite a few reasons why one relationship got a lot of hate while the other one is being celebrated. In early November, it was reported that Pete and Emily are in the very early stages of dating and that they really like each other. A source told Us Weekly that they have been talking for a couple of months now and they were set up by mutual friends. In the weeks following, they've gone on several public outings and each time they've been spotted together, they look more and more like a happy couple. News of the relationship brought mostly positive reactions online. It even added to the running joke about Pete Davidson being able to pull literally anyone he wants. In fact, a meme has since gone viral on Twitter, which is a photoshopped picture of him next to Marilyn Monroe with the caption, "Pete Davidson as soon as he arrives in heaven." Overall, you can see that people are really happy he started dating Emily. Under photos of them, you'll see a lot of comments saying, "Now these two actually seem like they belong together," and people saying, "Finally, it's about time." The general consensus about Pete and Emily is that they not only look great together, but they suit each other in personality as well. Even Howard Stern literally predicted that they would end up together back in September. So when he heard about the news of them dating, he said, "I think it's effing great. I called it. This dude is living the dream and you can get a little bit jealous. He's a funny dude, he's famous, he's rich, he's got big D energy." Which is all true, but fans of Em Rada also remember the time that she publicly defended Pete on Late Night with Seth Meyers, all while he was still in a relationship with Kim. When Seth questioned what it is that women see in him, she said, "He's got the height, obviously women find him very attractive. I feel like only other men feel that way. Guys are like, wow, what's that guy got? He seems super charming, vulnerable, lovely, his fingernail polish is awesome, he looks good relationship with his mother, we love it." So obviously she was super into Pete's charm from day one. We also know that Emily and Pete are very close in age, as he's 29 and she's 31, which means they're probably at very similar stages in their life. As for his relationship with Kim Kardashian, fans reacted very differently to them from the start. They met on the set of Saturday Night Live and Kim later said that she felt a spark between them when they shared a kiss during their Aladdin comedy sketch. But people really began cringing at their relationship when Kim started spilling a little too many details about their sex life. Perhaps the lines of what should and shouldn't be shared on social media was indefinitely crossed when the world suddenly learned that Pete Davidson had big D energy, and Kim Kardashian pretty much confirmed it. She also talked about getting with him on her reality show and said, "I was just basically DTF." While some people appreciated the honesty, others thought it was all a little bit too much. Then there were the tattoos. Fans thought it was a huge red flag that Pete had tattoos of Kim Kardashian and her 4 children, and now that they've broken up, it seems like it was a poorly thought out, permanent decision. One of the tattoos Pete has dedicated to Kim said, "My girl is a lawyer," which he got to celebrate her passing of the baby barb. He also got the names Aladdin and Jasmine with an infinity symbol between them, which is a direct reference to their first kiss on SNL. And he even got the initials of her 4 children in a tattoo that reads KNSCP. But of course, Kim didn't get any cheesy couple tattoos done on herself, and that really says a lot about the differences between them. But one of the biggest complications of their relationship was her ex, Kanye West. For some reason, the rapper was so threatened by the idea of his ex-wife moving on with Pete that he made it his mission to try and make his life hell. One of the things that Kanye did to mess with him was that he posted a photo of a fake New York Times cover on Instagram with the headline reading, "Pete Davidson is dead at age 28. He thought it would be hilarious if everyone thought that Pete had died. Then he made a social media post saying, "Hold your spouse close, make sure they know how much you love them and appreciate them, because there is a skeet lurking in every dirty alleyway waiting to help destroy your family and walk around in Calvin Klein jeans around your children." As a result, fans felt really bad that Pete had to go through all of that, because you could tell that it was really putting a strain on his mental health. While it was great that he stood by Kim during all of the Kanye drama, clearly at some point it became too much for anyone to have to put up with. So all things considered, you can see why there's such a difference between the way people felt about Kim and Pete together versus how they feel about Emily and Pete now that they've started dating. It looks like Pete Davidson and Emily Ratajkowski have gone as public as you possibly can in Hollywood by attending an NBA game together. The couple confirmed to the world that yes, their relationship really is happening. They had their first public outing in one of New York City's highest profile venues when they sat courtside together at a New York Knicks game last night in Madison Square Garden. They were sitting next to Ben Stiller and Jordyn Sparks, so there was a lot of star power in the house. While the two of them didn't have a kiss cam moment this time, they were not trying to hide the fact that they were a couple whatsoever. While there didn't seem to be any obvious PDA, Emily and Pete were all smiles and they didn't shy away from the cameras either. In fact, the Knicks' own Twitter account posted a photo of them together from the night with the caption, "Pete Davidson doesn't miss." The post went viral and the responses were both hilarious and completely expected. Someone wrote, "At this point he's getting fine women from the fact that he's been known to have other fine women. And he can't keep getting away with this." Another user tweeted, "I've moved past my hater stage and I'm now impressed and rooting for him." What's really funny though is that most of the comments are still along the lines of, "What does he have that I don't have?" I mean, a lot of people still seem like they cannot fathom how Pete Davidson managed to score yet another hot date. But Emily said it herself when she described him as a professional. She also said he's got the height, he's super charming, vulnerable, and he has a good relationship with his mom. She even said that it's only other men that think he isn't attractive, which seems to be the case. But the craziest part about their date night was during their celebrity attendee shoutout, the in-game announcer called him Pete Davis, and he actually wasn't even able to name Emily at all. Their big outing comes just 2 weeks after it was first reported that the two of them were seeing each other. Pete and Emily were recently spotted in the Big Apple celebrating his 29th birthday, and photographers snapped pictures of them hugging in a building hallway, probably to escape the freezing temperatures at the time. We know the two of them also attended Friendsgiving together over the weekend. Bumble's chief brand officer Shelby Drummond shared an Instagram post of the two of them seated at her dinner table. So clearly they're starting to spend holidays together as well. A source told Us Weekly on November 14th that Pete and Emily have been talking for a couple of months now. They're in the very early stages of dating, but both really like each other. As for Emily, she's been hinting for a while now that she's ready to get back into the dating game. She told Harper's Bazaar, "I can tell you that I have never been single before. I feel all the emotions. I feel anger, sadness, I feel excited, I feel joy, I feel levity. Every day is different. The only good thing I know is that I'm feeling all of those things, which is nice because it makes me believe that I'll be okay." But interestingly enough, she's also hinted on her TikTok that things between her and Pete are actually casual, and that she might be seeing multiple people. She posted a video of her lip syncing to the phrase, "I would be with multiple men, also some women as well. Everyone's hot but in an interesting way." Pete has also been out of the dating game for quite some time now, ever since breaking up with Kim Kardashian in August. In fact, fans have speculated that the reality star might be a little bit jealous with her ex dating Emily, as we know that Kim and Pete started dating after they met on SNL in October of 2021, and they ended up dating for 9 months. So to be fair, it was one of Pete's longest relationships. Since then, many people have felt that Kim did not approve of who he has chosen to date now. Fans pointed to a video that she posted of her dancing and singing along to Ariana Grande's song Santa Tell Me, along with her daughter North. And because Ariana is another one of Pete's exes, people seem to think that it was some kind of message. One fan commented, "The same day news comes out about Pete and Emily, huh?" While another person said, "Kim really fired up a TikTok to Ariana Grande after the Pete and Emrata news." But it's impossible to know for sure because Kim hasn't come out and publicly said anything against Emily. In fact, a source told Entertainment Tonight just last week, quote, "Kim is not bothered by Pete and Emily's relationship and knows that things were over between her and Pete. She just wants everyone to live their best lives and be happy." It looks like Kim Kardashian might be a little bit jealous of her ex Pete Davidson dating Emily Ratajkowski. In fact, some people say she's thrown some shade at their relationship. As we know, Kim and Pete started dating after they met on SNL in October of 2021, and they ended up dating for 9 months. So it wasn't exactly a little fling, they did have a serious relationship. Now it seems like she doesn't approve of his new model girlfriend, and she somehow expressed that on TikTok. Fans pointed to a video that she posted of her dancing and singing along to Ariana Grande's song Santa Tell Me, along with her little daughter North. And because Ariana is one of Pete Davidson's exes, people seem to think that that is some kind of message. One fan commented, "The same day news comes out about Pete and Emily, huh?" While another one said, "Kim really fired up a TikTok to Ariana Grande after the Pete and Emrata news. And Kim K using Ariana Grande music in a TikTok, oh, it's happening." Of course, this is all just speculation because Kim and North could easily just be getting into the Christmas spirit. Now all this drama comes after Pete and Emily have decided to make it official. The comedian was spotted in the Big Apple celebrating his 29th birthday with his girlfriend Emily, and photographers snapped pictures of the two of them hugging in a building hallway when they were escaping the freezing New York City temperatures. They first met in Manhattan before traveling traveling separately to Brooklyn. According to TMZ, their hookup adventure started as Pete drove to Emily's West Village apartment, all to pick her up, but when paparazzi found him, he apparently bolted from the scene, probably because he wanted to keep their relationship on the down low. Then apparently Emily ordered a rideshare which took her to a rendezvous with Pete. The pair first made headlines earlier this week after being spotted together by celebrity gossip Instagram account Dumois. Much to the internet's collective shock, a source close to Pete told People magazine that they are seeing each other. Sparks started flying when mutual friends set them up. Now the former SNL comedian and the model are said to be in the very early stages of dating and apparently really like each other. As for Emily, this kind of fun romance that she's bound to have with Pete is exactly what she needs right now as she gets back into the dating game. As we know, she recently split up from her husband Sebastian Bear McLeod in September after it was alleged that he cheated on her. 31-year-old mom of one says that she has been enjoying dating ever since. She told Harper's Bazaar, "I can tell you that I have never been single before. I feel all the emotions, anger, sadness, I feel excited, I feel joy, I feel levity. Every day is different. The only good thing I know is that I'm feeling all of those things, which is nice because it makes me believe that I'll be okay." She did admit though that it was hard for her to go on a date with someone and think about how much she did or didn't even like them. Basically, she would get too in her head about the date while it was happening. She said, "I would have been thinking about how they were perceiving me, what it meant, what they wanted from me, what it meant about my self-worth. I don't have that anymore." This news is pretty crazy since it's common knowledge that Pete has been out of the dating game ever since breaking up with Kim K in August. And he's decided to keep a low profile recently as he's been focusing more on his career and on going to trauma therapy. Earlier this year, Pete decided to seek mental health treatment, mostly due to disturbing and violent posts that were made against him by Kanye West while he was dating Kim. One of the things that Kanye did to mess with him was that he posted a photo of a fake New York Times cover on Instagram with the headline reading, "Pete Davidson is dead at 28. For some reason, he thought it would be hilarious if everyone thought that Pete had died. Then he made a social media post saying, "Hold your spouse close, make sure they know how much you love and appreciate them, because there is a skeet lurking in every dirty alleyway waiting to help destroy your family and walk around in Calvin jeans around your children." So while Pete was probably head over heels for Kim, when they eventually got together, Kanye saw him as public enemy number one. The rapper was so threatened by the comedian that he made it his mission to give Pete a hard time, and it looks like he succeeded because now Pete literally has to undergo trauma therapy. So as iconic as their relationship was, especially when they both had platinum hair, realistically their relationship between Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson was never going to work. But as for Kim and Emily, they actually seem to be a lot better suited to each other because they're both in similar stages of life. So let's just hope that Pete is not going to have to contend with any more jealous exes. At 28 years old, Pete Davidson has earned himself the reputation as one of Hollywood's most prolific ladies' men. From Ariana Grande to Kim Kardashian, there's no doubt that beautiful girls seem to flock to him. In fact, his ability to attract some of Hollywood's most glamorous leading ladies has left some people baffled because there are still a lot of people out there who don't seem to understand his appeal. So every time he scores a date, there's always someone left shocked. Number 10, Emily Ratajkowski. The former SNL comedian and the model are said to be in the very early stages of dating and apparently really like each other. A source told US Weekly that they have been talking for a couple of months now, and they were set up by mutual friends. The news comes after a recent internet rumor claiming that the two of them were seen all over each other. The story goes that the celebrity gossip Instagram account Dumois received an anonymous tip from someone claiming that they saw Emily and Pete on a date in Brooklyn over the weekend. The person said that they were very clearly hooking up. Rumors of their romance came nearly 2 months after Howard Stern predicted that they would make a great couple. Emily even talked about why women find Pete so charming in November of 2021. She said, "He's got the height. Obviously women find him very attractive. I feel like only other men feel that way. Guys are like, wow, what's that guy got? He seems super charming, vulnerable, lovely. His fingernail polish is awesome. He looks good. Good relationship with his mother. We love it." Number 9, Kim Kardashian. Pete's dating life continued to be a wild ride when he and Kim Kardashian were seen holding hands on a roller coaster in October of 2021. Not long after they kissed during an SNL skit. Days later, Page Six reported that Pete arranged for a private dinner with Kim on Staten Island. The two of them were later seen on a second date night in New York City. While they were dating, Kim said that Pete has the best heart. I feel like people, they have this idea of him that he dates all these hot girls, and he does, but he's just the sweetest, most thoughtful person. So in other words, he might seem like a player, but he doesn't go around disrespecting women. He's also smart and funny, as we know that he was cast on SNL when he was only 20 years old. In fact, during the 9 months that he was with Kim, a lot of fans noticed that she became more lighthearted and they would often joke a lot together. Unfortunately, the couple ended things in August this year after 9 months of dating, allegedly due to their demanding work schedules. If you're loving this video so far, please hit that like button, it would really help us out. Number 8. Ariana Grande. One of Pete's most shocking romantic moves was when he started dating Ariana Grande. They publicly revealed they were in a relationship at the end of May in 2018. Things moved very quickly from there, and they ended up getting engaged just a few weeks after their relationship began. Their relationship became something of an internet meme, and it really cemented Pete's image as a ladies' man. Several tweets that Ariana made about him created the infamous phrase "Big D energy," which Pete quickly became the face of. But just as swiftly as things started, they rapidly came to an end. Shockingly, the pop star went on to describe their romance as an amazing distraction when speaking to Vogue magazine. In response, Pete slammed her on stage during a stand-up performance. He said, "Can you imagine if I did that? My career would be over tomorrow if I spray painted myself brown and hopped on the cover of Vogue magazine and just started hating on my ex. Can you imagine?" So obviously he took those comments somewhat to heart. Number 7. Kate Beckinsale. Pete wasted no time rebounding from his failed engagement to Ariana Grande by moving on with actress and icon Kate Beckinsale. As a couple, they did have a 20-year age gap, and that's mostly what they were known for, but they still looked amazing together, and at this point Pete really became the envy of the internet. The two were first linked romantically when they were spotted flirting at a Golden Globes after party in January of 2019. They confirmed the news that they were seeing each other when they made out at a New York Rangers game in March that same year. A source at the time told Page 6 that their PDA was an FU to Ariana, so their relationship was definitely a massive rebound. It didn't help that Pete was only 3 years older than Kate's daughter, so they didn't last long as a couple, and they ended up calling it quits in April of 2019. Number 6. Kaia Gerber. This relationship was also short-lived for a few reasons, but mostly because not a lot of people were supportive of it. Pete started dating Kaia Gerber, the daughter of Cindy Crawford and Randy Gerber, in October of 2019. They got together when Kaia was 18 and he was 26, making her one of the youngest girls that he's ever dated, a factor that even he admitted contributed to their breakup. While they were seeing each other, it was reported that Kaia's parents hoped that their relationship would fizzle out, and it certainly did. After only 3 months, Page 6 reported in January of 2020 that the couple had broken things off for good. Pete then confirmed their breakup and said, "She's very young and I'm effing going through a lot, and it was before I went to rehab. It just wasn't the right place or the right time at all." So while their relationship may have looked good on the outside, Pete was actually going through a lot with his mental health at the time. Number 5. Phoebe Dynevor. Another one of Pete's leading ladies was the beautiful Bridgerton actress Phoebe Dynevor. Rumors of their romance began swirling in March of 2021 when Pete flew from New York to the UK to spend time with her. An insider confirmed at the time that they were spending time together. Then in April, it was reported that their relationship was not too serious, but it was obvious that Pete must have really liked her if he was flying off to quaint little English villages to hang out with her on set. The thing is though, the long distance would have been difficult for even the most in-love couple. A source told The Sun, Pete and Phoebe's romance was a real whirlwind from the start, and they were both totally committed. But as time passed, it's become increasingly obvious that it's going to be difficult to make this work. That's probably why their relationship was so short-lived, as it was confirmed in August that they had broken up after just 5 months together. And yes, apparently the long distance was a factor in their breakup, seeing that Pete lives in New York while Phoebe lives in England. Number 4. Olivia O'Brien. Now this one is tricky because it's been highly disputed, but it still deserves a place on the list. Singer-songwriter Olivia O'Brien claimed that she dated Pete Davidson in October of 2020, before his relationship with Phoebe. However, he denied they were even together. Olivia went on the BFF podcast in 2022, claimed that they had a secret short-lived fling that no one knew about. She also said that Pete broke up with her over text, saying that he was seeing someone else and they couldn't continue their fling. Whatever happened between them, there was obviously a lot of miscommunication involved, because it sounds like Olivia might have been stuck in the friend zone. Soon after the podcast aired, a rep for Pete actually released a statement denying that they ever dated. They told Page 6, "There is no truth to this. They were friends and hung out a few times." So yes, it seems like she was firmly stuck in the zone. Number 3. Margaret Qualley. The actress began dating Pete Davidson in August of 2019, and they were spotted on a romantic outing in Venice while she was in town promoting one of her new films, which screamed at the Venice Film Festival. Fans noticed they looked really into each other while exploring the historic city in early September. Margaret is a daughter of actress Andie MacDowell, who also had high praise for the couple. Andie admitted that she had yet to meet him, but said, "I FaceTimed with Pete the other day, and she took a video of me to send to Pete, that's what it was. She had a beautiful relationship with him, but I don't want to step on her relationship too much. They have a nice relationship. It was great that Margaret's mom approved of him so much, but sadly by the time the leaves began to change, so did their connection." The couple ended up breaking up that October after only 2 months of dating. Number 2, Cassie David. Pete Davidson found himself in his first long-term relationship with comedian Larry David's daughter, Cassie David. The couple began dating in May of 2016 and things quickly got serious. Their relationship lasted for 2 years, which is actually pretty impressive given the timeline of Pete's dating history. Then in May of 2018, he confirmed that they had officially broken up, saying, "We're not together anymore. She's a very talented girl, she'll be great and she'll be fine. Yeah, I think she'll be okay." For her part, Cassie opened up about their breakup in her 2020 collection of essays called No One Asked for This, where she recalled the mental health struggles that both of them had during their time as a couple. Interestingly enough, she said that Pete broke up with her the day before she found out that he was dating Ariana Grande. Fortunately, she was able to get over the pain of their breakup and revealed that they were friends again. And coming in at number 1, Carly Aquilio. The Girl Code alum dated Pete Davidson in 2015. While things never got too serious for the couple, Pete clearly made an impression on her because years later, when he got engaged to Ariana Grande in 2018, the MTV personality posted a screenshot of a text message that she received from a friend that read, "I know I'm the 9th billion person to text you about this, but I can't." She captioned the post by saying, "My day" in a text message. But Pete and Carly clearly managed to maintain some kind of platonic relationship over the years, because they were spotted hanging out backstage at a comedy show on Long Island in 2019. He was dating Kate Beckinsale at the time, so it clearly wasn't a romantic reunion. The pair posed for a photo with Marcus Russell Price on the photographer's Instagram story. So at least they were able to stay friends given all the time that's passed since they were together. Did you know that Pete Davidson and Emily Ratajkowski are dating? If you know anything about Pete Davidson's dating history, the news probably won't come as a shock, but it looks like a lot of people are genuinely surprised. The former SNL comedian and the model are said to be in the very early stages of dating and really like each other. A source told US Weekly that they have been talking for a couple of months now, after they were set up by mutual friends. The news comes after a recent internet rumor claiming that the two of them were seen all over each other. The story goes that the celebrity gossip Instagram account Dumois received an anonymous tip from someone claiming that they saw Emily and Pete on a date in Brooklyn over the weekend. The person said they were very clearly hooking up, and good for them if that's true. You might be surprised to know that Pete and Emily actually have a bit of history together. When he was still in a relationship with Kim, Emily publicly defended him during an interview on Late Night with Seth Meyers in 2021. They had modeled together, and Emily said that she was impressed by him and called him a professional. And when Seth Meyers questioned what it is that women see in Pete Davidson, she said, "He's got the height. Obviously women find him attractive. I feel like only other men feel that way. Guys are like, wow, what's that guy got? He seems super charming, vulnerable, lovely. His fingernail polish is awesome. He looks good. Good relationship with his mother, we love it." So there you have it. She was obviously super into Pete's charm from day one. It wasn't long before the internet practically exploded with shock over the new couple. One user tweeted, "Pete Davidson is real living proof that you can pull anyone if you're funny enough." Another tweet that went viral said, "If you're in line to date Pete Davidson, stay in line. It's your constitutional right." And I find it funny when people act shocked that Pete Davidson dates beautiful women. Women have been telling men for decades that they want kind men who can make us laugh. And Pete, by all accounts, is a sweetheart who treats women amazingly well. Learn from him maybe. As usual, it seemed like a lot of men were astounded at the fact that he managed to bag yet another supermodel, and they were left wondering, what does Pete Davidson have that I don't have? From Ariana Grande to Kim Kardashian, you can no longer deny that a lot of hot girls date Pete Davidson. While she was dating him, Kim explained the phenomenon pretty well. She said, "Pete has the best heart. I feel like people, they have this idea of him that he dates all these hot girls, and he does, but he's really just the sweetest, most thoughtful person." So in other words, he might seem like a player, but he doesn't go around disrespecting women. He's also smart and funny, as we know he was cast on SNL when he was only 20 years old. In fact, during the 9 months that he was with Kim Kardashian, a lot of fans noticed that she became more lighthearted and they would often joke a lot together. But Pete's fame reached new heights in 2018 when he started dating Ariana Grande. And then, as if that wasn't shocking enough, the two of them got engaged less than a month later, and then the infamous paparazzi photos came out of Ariana licking a lollipop while gazing at Pete. From that point on, the phrase Big D energy started making the rounds on social media, and Pete was the face of it. The comedian then dated Kate Beckinsale, Margaret Qualley, Kaya Gerber and Phoebe Deneva. As a result, he earned himself the reputation as one of Hollywood's most prolific ladies' men. As for Emily, the kind of fun romance that she's bound to have with Pete is exactly what she needs right now as she gets back into the dating game. The model was recently linked to Brad Pitt, as Page Six has confirmed that they had been out a few times together and were taking things slow. It wouldn't be a bad match for Emily because it is Brad Pitt we're talking about here, but the age gap between them is certainly enough to raise a few eyebrows, considering that Brad is 58 years old while Emily is only 31. Unfortunately, the only thing they seem to have in common is that they're both going through a messy divorce. Emily split from her husband Sebastian Bear McLeod in September after it was alleged that he cheated on her. In a new series of TikTok videos, the 31-year-old mother said, "As a recently single person who is thinking about dating and stuff, I've really seen that with my friends and with the conversations around it. People tend to say dating should be about reciprocal mutual relationships where two people could potentially foster love. And while that might take a while to find in today's dating scene, it's certainly worth looking for."
So why did Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson break up? Well, it seems that it comes down to some completely civil stuff. Scheduling, age differences, and, you'll never guess this one, different personalities were some of the reasons that the two called it quits after their 9-month relationship. One source said, quote, "Kim and Pete have decided to just be friends. They have a lot of love and respect for each other, but found that the long distance and their demanding schedules made it really difficult to maintain a relationship." But like I said, the couple's age difference was also likely a big part of it too. Kim and Pete are around 13 years apart, so it's not the most surprising thing. And a source confirms this, saying, quote, "Pete is 28. And Kim is 41. They are just in very different places at the moment. Pete is totally spontaneous and impulsive and wants her to fly to New York or wherever he is on a moment's notice. But Kim has 4 kids, and it isn't that easy. She needs to focus on the kids. This same insider also revealed that Kim's various businesses, of which there are many, have made keeping a relationship difficult for her, saying, quote, "She's totally exhausted by this relationship and other things going on in her life." But that's not to say that they were not getting along or had no chemistry. They absolutely had a lot of chemistry, and anyone who's seen them together would agree with that. Yet another source, this time for Entertainment Tonight, said, quote, "They had tons of chemistry and still do, but she kind of wants to be single and date. Kim still adores Pete and will always be friends with him. She still thinks he's the nicest and sweetest guy in the world, and there's no drama or anything weird between them now." This source continues to say, quote, "She felt like Pete was the extreme opposite of Kanye, and it was good for her then. She initially thought it would be a fun fling, but then it got more serious when they were spending so much time together. Kim wasn't feeling like she was willing to settle down with him just yet." So yes, it seems like it was just the natural progression of a rebound. These things happen. There's no animosity, no real drama, and that's nice for once. I'm sure Kim feels the same way after the headache I can imagine Kanye is. Speaking of Kanye, another source seemed to hint at the fact that Kanye did indeed have a bit of a hand to play in the whole thing, seemingly hinted at and confirmed by a source for Page Six when talking about how Kim wants to focus on the kids, saying, quote, "When Kim is with someone else, Kanye can cause problems with the kids. He tries to divide and conquer. He can't help it. Kim is a really dedicated mother and her kids will always come first. She wants and needs harmony at home and in her life." So there you have it, a nice and chill celebrity breakup. Shocking, I know.
On August 8th, Kanye West released an Instagram post proclaiming that Skeet Davidson is dead on a fake New York Times backdrop. Skeet is the name that Kanye uses to refer to Pete Davidson, former SNL comedian and also now ex-boyfriend of Kim Kardashian. The post came after the most recent announcement that Kim and Pete had split after only 9 months of dating and a few tattoos on Pete later. The post has now been deleted, but not before millions of screenshots captured it as proof. This would not be the first time Kanye has commented on this relationship and taking jabs at Pete. Earlier in the year, Kanye released a music video that depicts the harming of Pete, and he also shared private text messages from Kim's phone on social media. Kim allegedly said to Kanye, "You are creating a dangerous and scary environment and someone will hurt Pete,
and this will all be your fault. Kanye took to Instagram to follow up on this and commented, "Upon my wife's request, please nobody do anything physical to Skeet. I'm going to handle the situation myself." He accompanied the comment with a picture from the 2001 film Baby Boy with Ving Rhames hurting Tyrese Gibson. Kanye has repeatedly threatened Pete and begged for Kim to take him back. Allegedly, Pete is now attending therapy to recover from the craziness of this situation. A source close to Pete told People that the comedian has been in trauma therapy in large part due to the many threatening posts that Kanye has posted on social media. Quote, "The attention and negativity coming from Kanye and his antics is a trigger for Pete, and he's had to seek out help," the insider said. Celebs such as Trevor Noah has been trying to get Kanye's attention, reaching out and telling him that he's gone too far. Some people believe Kanye's post is yet another distraction post curated by the Kardashian clan. Kanye has been known to make dark jokes, and after publicly announcing he was going to deal with the situation himself, this post could be a sign that he has dealt with it and he is the reason they have split up. Fans have become so obsessed with the breakup of Kim and Pete and Kanye's posts and have come up with a few theories as to what is really going on. Some say Kim and Kanye are now back together, and that may motivate Kanye to post something like this to implant the idea into everyone's mind that he won. Some say that the breakup, along with Kanye's disturbing post, is a distraction from the fact that Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson just had another child, something no one is talking about. The news was timed perfectly to distract everyone from Khloe's new child, as people are already super hard on Khloe for forgiving Tristan, and she may just want this time without the public's energy and opinion. But then, of course, the final theory as to why Kanye may post something like this could be due to mental illness. It became public knowledge not too long ago that Kanye suffers from a few mental disorders, including bipolar disorder, and as we all can remember from Amanda Bynes' tweets in 2013, another celeb who suffers from bipolar disorder, it wouldn't be within the wheelhouse of someone struggling with this disorder to say erratic things and make inappropriate remarks. As much as I am all for freedom of speech, I think it's the job of his family and team to make sure that he is okay and gets the help that he needs, even though they may be conflicted with this, as this kind of behavior has become a part of his brand, sadly.
On Friday, Kim and Kanye met in Los Angeles to have a conference to set up their trial in regards to their divorce. Kanye's divorce lawyer at the time was a woman named Samantha Spector, and she asked that the judge relieve her as Kanye's counsel. She said that their relationship was irretrievably broken, but she wouldn't say why that was. Samantha is known for her work with other celebrity divorces, and you can't help but wonder what happened between the two for her to decide that stepping down from the case was the best option. She had a date set to withdraw a week from now, but the judge granted her request, and now Kanye is left without a lawyer. Again. The judge also decided that Kanye needs to submit his request and settle the remaining issues, or the case will be going to court in December. Most people think that if Kanye continues to lose lawyers and not give his demands, Kim will probably get whatever she asks for in the case. People on Twitter have also been commenting on the situation, many people thinking that Kanye is to blame for his issues. Tweets said things like, "Fifth lawyer, I'm starting to think that Kanye may be the common denominator in all of his issues, lol. And Kanye should just give Kim what she wants, SMH. He's the problem. His attorneys quit just how Kim did in the marriage. Seems too he didn't dump the girlfriends he had after Kim, they dumped him. Poor guy went downhill mentally after the loss of his mother." There are at least some people though that are in defense of Kanye. One person saying, "Won't be shocked if the lawyer got paid off or threatened by the Kardashians. The Kardashian couldn't get the conservatorship, now they want to take his money by all means. I'm here for Kanye fighting till he gets what he wants. And no, he is not holding on to Kim, that's delusional." This being in response to some people thinking that Kanye might be holding on to his relationship with Kim and dragging the divorce out due to this. As far as their relationship goes, it would appear that the two are actually still on good terms. Despite Kim Kardashian now being with Pete Davidson, Kim and Kanye have still been spotted together together, and she seems to be supporting his business endeavors. In the last few months, the two have been photographed together in what seem to be co-parenting efforts, the two most recently being caught at a basketball game that their daughter North was participating in. The same scenario taking place back in March when they both appeared at their other kid Saint's soccer game. At the time those photos came out, Kanye was very vocally angry about Kim and Pete's relationship seeming to get more serious, but since then it seems that he's quieted down. Very recently, Kim also posted a photo of herself, Chicago, and North all wearing Yeezy sunglasses and seeming to advertise the brand, so things between her and Kanye can't be all that terrible.